the year that youth overcomes experience. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, the youngster is starting deep in the pack today. He's sandwiched in the middle of Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt in the Winston Cup point standings. Hottest guy on the circuit still, though. 33% of the laps he's led, or 35% of the miles, Jeff. But you're starting way back after winning 7 poles. You're 21st today. What happened in qualifying?
Well, I was just trying to take about a 5th qualifying car to the pole, and you know, I took it on the edge like I do every weekend, and got a little bit too far over the edge, got a little loose, and got the right rear into the wall. And, you know, we had to work real hard, but that just shows how tough this team is. They bounced back. We came back yesterday, had a good run. We were fastest yesterday, starting 21st here, but you know, it's 300 laps, but that's a long time around this place. Hopefully we can get up to the front.
Okay, no doubt about it. All eyes will be on him as he marches toward the front today. Glenn Jarrett.
Well, thanks, Randy. If youth is Jeff Gordon, which it is, then experience is this man, Dale Earnhardt. And this guy has won 7 crowns. I don't think that he's quite ready to give it up yet. Those young guys been running good, but you still got a lot of racing left in you.
Well, we hope we have. Feel like we got several more years anyway, Glenn. You know, it's real competitive. And, you know, a guy with a talent like Gordon comes in here with the good equipment, and he can win races. But still, we feel like we can win some more championships, some more races ourselves, and we're looking forward to the future. Not ready to start our own team, like you said this morning on TV on race day, but we're gonna look down the road to maybe owning one someday when I'm ready to retire 10 or so years.
Well, the report that I made on race day this morning has been emphatically and categorically denied by both Richard Childress and Dale Earnhardt. I stand corrected. I hang my head in humble apology. Is that good enough? Okay. Now, the plights of both Gordon and Earnhardt this year have only been 2 of the major stories in a year that's been chock full of interesting developments.
I read the news today, oh boy.
What a season of headlines so far. Controversy, dominance, parity among car makes, new faces in victory lane. Fierce battles on and off the track. But as we head into the second half of 95 with ratings and attendance records, this season's been a knockout. TNN Motorsports presents live coverage of the Slick 50 300 from the Magic Mile of Loudon, New Hampshire, and it is jam-packed with race fans. They've been arriving here since Thursday. They sat through rain yesterday, but today the temperature is in the mid-70s and the humidity is some 30 points cooler than it was, or rather lower than it was yesterday afternoon. Welcome to the Granite State, everybody. I'm Mike Joy. This racetrack, since they began holding Winston Cup racing on this 1-mile flat oval, has always favored the driver who could best adjust on his car throughout the day and take advantage of increasingly slick track conditions. Well, the top of the Winston Cup standings, that's increasingly slick as well. 3 drivers are in unprecedented just 16 points apart here at the midpoint of the season, as we see in our Texaco Haviland point standings. So, what to expect from this, the midpoint race in the season? To my colleagues, Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin. Buddy, what kind of race do you look for today?
3 wide down the front straightaway, double wide in the corners. There's a new sealer on the bottom side of the racetrack, but it does not bother the competition. Great racing all day.
Ernie, the drivers did not get a last practice session yesterday. Was there a lot of guesswork in the garage this morning?
Well, there was a lot of guesswork, but they did have a practice right before it started raining yesterday afternoon, and you know, there was about 15 or 20 cars that could run the same speed. I think that it's going to be the most competitive race we've ever seen here at New Hampshire.
Well, it's certainly the most competitive point battle. Let's go down to the point leader and Randy Pemberton.
Well, Sterling Marlin will sit 31st on this grid today. He has 2 Winston Cup victories, the best average finisher of the Winston Cup season so far with an 8.33. Sterling, you're deep in the field. We've already talked about this track changing a lot during the day. Are you guys ready for that, and can you get to the front?
Well, we've changed a bunch on it this morning, and a lot of cars did what in the last practice, and we're just going to go give it the best shot and see what happens. We've got some adjustments we can make, and whatever I have to do. So we should be in pretty good shape, I think.
Okay, good luck, Sterling. Well, Sterling Marlin got to come from deep in the pack, but he has a lot of company back here. Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace starting just inside the top 20. Well, we'll be back with live coverage from the Slick 50 300 right after this.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 50 300 on TNN is brought to you by Ford at your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. By Texaco, clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. And by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
You see a heavy cloud cover over New Hampshire International Speedway. It'll keep it cool on these thousands of fans. 22 acres of new parking. Bob Bear added for this weekend. It is all full, and these grandstands are all packed. Here's the AutoZone race analysis brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. 41 cars in today's field for the 300-mile, or rather 300-lap, 317-mile distance. Rusty Wallace is the race record holder, set 2 years ago. Pit strategy as they roll off the starting grid. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, the cars are just now rolling away, and the strategy so far, everybody, as you guys said earlier on, was a little bit concerned about what to do to their cars. Everybody, that is, except Mark Martin, they were fast right from the get-go, made very few changes on the cars. We can look for about 85 to 100 laps on fuel, and they also say that the tires will last that long, too. So really, the fuel stop and the tire window should be about the same today. Depends on how the things shake out. It'll be a little skitterish starting out. The cars will skate a little bit because of the soft rubber that was left down from the modified in the Busch North race yesterday, which finished up last night. So look for the guys to sort things out a little bit early on, but nobody really made a lot of major chassis adjustments or changes that I talked to. By the way, this is the same tire that the Busch cars ran last week at Milwaukee, similar type racing surface. So I really look for Dale Jarrett to have a good day. They've got the same type setup under their car. A lot of good guys on flat tracks here today. This is going to be a heck of a show, Mike.
Thanks, Glenn. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. Mark Martin, new track record. His Valvoline Ford is on the pole. Robert Presley in the Skoll Chevrolet, his best qualifying effort outside row 1. Row number 2, Joe Nemechek also has his best start of the season. And Bill Elliott has his first top 5 start of the year. Bobby Labonte, the winner at Charlotte and Michigan in row 3. And Rick Mass, second top 10 start for Rick this year. Ricky Rudd is the defending champion of this race, and Kyle Petty, who won at Dover last month, that's row 4. Michael Waltrip, 8th in the points, and Ken Schrader in row 5. Row 6, Morgan Shepherd, 6th here last year, and Dick Trickle had a strong run in Daytona last week. Row 7, Terry Labonte, the winner in Richmond and Pocono, and Dale Jarrett. Row number 8, Jeremy Mayfield, and Hutch Strickland, who has 3 top 10s in the last 5 races since joining Kenny Bernstein's team. Ted Musgrave, 4th in the point standings, and last year's runner-up here, Dale Earnhardt. Ricky Craven won yesterday's Busch North race, and Rusty Wallace, who won the first Slick 50 300 here. Jeff Gordon, fastest second-round qualifier, and Jeff Bodine. Derek Cole for his first win since 1990, and Dave Marcus starts his 776th Winston Cup race today. Elton Sawyer in the Junior Johnson Ford, and Bobby Hamilton has 5 top 10s this year. Ward Burton and Todd Bodine, who was 5th here last season. John Andretti and Jeff Burton, who made his Cup debut 2 years ago here. Sterling Marlin, the point leader, is deep in the field, and Darrell Waltrip. Rich Bickle with the Dick Brooks Felix Sabates team, and Steve Grissom, who had a 5th at Wilkesboro this year. Mike Wallace makes his second New Hampshire start. Blake Speed, who was 8th in Charlotte. Bobby Hillen Jr. and Jimmy Hensley makes his second start for Bill Davis. Brett Bodine, qualifying troubles. We'll clue you in on that later on. And Jimmy Spencer looks for his first win since almost a year ago. And Chuck Bound, twice a runner-up here in Busch Series competition. Chevrolet Corvette pace car leads them around. And they have been running a lap at the pit road speed since they didn't get to do so yesterday afternoon.
In the middle of 1 and 2, they say the lead is.
Riding with Sterling Marlin and telling him about a piece of debris out on the racetrack in turn number 2. You saw the track truck there to go pick it up. There's the roof cam
I don't
on
see
the Morgan McClure Kodak Chevrolet. and out the rear window, Sterling Marlin's car, and out the right side window as well, looking across at Darrell Waltrip. We'll be on the pole with Mark Martin in the Valvoline Cummins diesel Ford of Jack Roush, both inside and up top on the roof cam, and out the right side window of Mark's car as well. And Dave Marcus, the Olive Garden Prodigy Computer Service Chevrolet, starting 24th today. Dave told me this morning he will not have Ward Burton in his car next year, as Glenn was also emphatically told. He intends to drive it himself next season once again. So we'll give you a ride. We'll also be able to talk to Dave Marcus today, thanks to our Racing Electronics in-car radios.
Mike, you see how fast they're running under the caution here. What they're doing is seating in the brakes. They didn't have time yesterday to run the brakes in, so they're running a little bit faster than normal going down the back straightaway. You can see they're running about 100 miles an hour, seating the brakes in for the start of the race.
We'll have another new view to show you today. We'll be up on the roof to the right of our broadcast position. You are looking from the hat of Buddy Red Dog Barnes. He is the spotter from for John Andretti, the Kmart Little Caesars Prentice Haas Ford, number 37, and you'll see what he is looking at as he gives instruction to John, and you'll be able to hear those instructions as John Andretti there moves around the Speedway. There's Andretti's Ford, and Buddy Barnes checking things out.
To Ernie Irvin, he's up here with us today in the booth. He went to Bristol and helped set up his truck, and they won their first race there in Bristol with Joe Ruttman driving, and thanks to Ernie, they had a super ride there.
I tell you, thanks to Joe, he really drove the wheels off that thing, and it was a lot of fun. I've been to Victory Lane before at Bristol, and this was special too.
Well, silly season begins the second half of the season. 22 Fords, 14 Chevys, 5 Pontiacs. There will not be that 6th Pontiac Winston Cup racing. At least it won't be out of the Ricky Rudd stable. He announced this weekend that he had talked to the folks in Pontiac, but Rudd's tied team will stay with Ford next year. That puts one rumor to rest. Gosh, there are a lot of them flying about what will happen next year to drivers, car owners, crew chiefs, lots of folks in this sport. There's Jack Roush, who owns the pole-sitting car of Mark Martin and the 4th place point-standing car of Ted Musgrave. Yesterday, Jack was stripped to a T-shirt and shorts inside of Mark's truck, putting together a cylinder head for Ted Musgrave's car.
But he had that hat on, I'll guarantee it. I think he takes a shower with that thing on.
We're going flat track in here in New Hampshire. The banking is only 12 degrees. At its highest point, 1,500-foot straightaways on this 1-mile oval, built from the old 1.6-mile Breyer Motorsports Park. Now plays host to Winston Cup, the Busch Series, the Featherlight Modified Tour, Indy Cars, the Loudon Classic for motorcycle, and SCCA amateur events. Go-karts, you name it. Everybody races here at the Magic Mile.
Boy, the hearts are pumping right now. Well, this is probably the most intriguing part of the race is when you're waiting on that green. Once in a while, your kneecap will jump a little bit. You really get ready for the start.
Mark Martin's Ford, Robert Presley's Chevrolet on the front row. And we are under green at New Hampshire for the Slick 5300.
Well, Mark got a nice jump. You see Robert Presley, though, on the outside. That's a great part of this racetrack. You can race fast on the outer groove there.
Going out of turn number 2. Presley has Nemechek to the inside. Joe won a Busch race here. Stole it from Dale Earnhardt on the last lap.
The 4th car in the picture there, that's Bobby Labonte. He was one of the fastest cars in morning practice yesterday. You see Nemechek's car just a little bit loose coming out of turn 4.
This Winston Cup race, Mark Martin has led since Charlotte in May. Presley in 33.87 is Nemechek 18. Labonte, and whoa, Nemechek almost tossed the bun away with a burger there.
I think I'm going to throw that loose condition, little loose. That's a bunch loose right there.
Making sure he didn't hit him.
Here comes Ricky Rudd in trouble in turn 3. Dave Marcus has spun around. Dale Jarrett is in the fence.
That's amazing. Wow, how many times did that happen to him this year, right at the first of a race?
Well, every TNN race. Dover, Pocono, here. Wow. He finished the Winston Select? We'll have to check.
The nice part is it does not look like a lot of damage.
And, I see her happening, but you know how those deals go.
I hit it for the grass, but somebody got me.
That's Dave Marcus you're listening to as we're on board the Olive Garden Chevrolet. Here's what happened.
Lake Speed is right behind him. Looks like he got into the left rear corner just a little bit. You see Dale Jarrett running backwards up towards the wall.
Buddy, I believe that was Jeff Bodine rather than Lake Speed. There's Lake Speed moving through.
I think it was Lake Speed that actually bumped into him.
We'll double check when we come back.
We'll look again.
It is 3 laps on the scoreboard here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Dale Jarrett and Dave Marcus are both able to continue. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire, the Slick 5300. NASCAR may open the penalty box. Let's show you what happened here at turn 3 once again. Watch that 28 car.
Mike, after watching this, you were correct. It's Jeff Bodine. You can see him coming on the inside there. Rusty Wallace right on the outside. He gets into the 28 car just as they enter into the corner.
Around goes Dale Jarrett. Bodine goes under. Nice move by Rusty Wallace, but Dave Marcus.
He got collected a little bit by Elton Sawyer there.
Now from Dave Marcus's car. Oof. Pretty close. We're about to go back to green. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, the 28 car has suffered a lot of damage. They have a toe-in problem or possibly toe-out. Dale has tried to work the wheel out there a little bit, get it fixed. It won't happen this caution. They've strung the car. They can't get the toe-in fixed. They're going back to green. Right now, Dale Jarrett's just going to have to ride it out until the next yellow. Glenn Jarrett, green flag.
Well, guys, that car has got a lot of history behind it. That's the same car Davey Allison drove to his last victory ever, and it's the car that Ernie Irvin set on the pole, set the track record with here last year. Good race car.
Jeff Bodine has come down pit road. Jimmy Cox has the stop sign out, and he is holding the Exide batteries forward. We're back under green, and look at this pack. Looks like Daytona all over again with Ricky Craven in amongst Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. Jeff Bodine will spend 1 lap in the penalty box as the field comes past.
You see Robert Presley in a 33 car. He's beginning to drop back just a little bit from the leaders. Looks like he's got a handling problem a little bit. You see the back end dance right there as he turns into the corner.
Back to green after an early caution involving Dale Jarrett and Jeff Bodine. Ricky Rudd right on the tail of Robert Presley as Hut Strickland moves to the outside of Jeff Gordon and Ted Musgrave.
Now there's a car that does not have a problem.
No,
he passed 2 cars in one corner on the outside. That's pretty strong.
Strickland and Musgrave, the 4th place point man, side by side. Back into the corner. Jeremy Mayfield and Dick Trickle just ahead. Things have settled down for a few laps here.
Well, I hope so. Get a few laps under green here and kind of sort things out. See Bodine under Dick Trickle there, 2 wide coming off the corner there, and that's Ted Musgraves on the inside.
Folks, if you have questions during our telecast, we'd love to hear them. 1-800-451-7331 is our toll-free number. Operators in Nashville will fax your questions to us here in the booth, and we'll try to get you some answers as this telecast goes along. If you have a question about the race, dial in toll-free all during our telecast. 1-800-451-7331.
You know, it looks like Ricky Craven may have learned a little bit about the racetrack yesterday. He won the 150 here, Busch Grand National North, and he's working over Hut Strickland right there at the back of the frame there.
And Rusty Wallace moving in. And Ward Burton.
You know, I think a lot of people don't really know that they actually repaved this racetrack since last year. And they've had a couple races on it. And, you know, last year, remember the racetrack kept coming up and, you know, it was real slick and stuff. And then now they put a sealer on it before we come this weekend. So nobody'd actually run on it with the sealer. And no testing had been done or anything.
17 cautions last year. They got a beautiful racing surface here. Yesterday in 90-degree heat, they had sprinklers out, watered the whole surface for a bit. That was on Friday, and then, of course, yesterday it rained. So should be in good shape for today. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Yeah, you sure did, buddy. I think
Probably.
Gee, and the man you helped me pick went out of here.
Well, Ernie and I are running first and second, Mike.
Oh. Well, that would be good.
It's awfully early. Nemechek's car is coming back in this thing. He was real loose at first.
Yeah, he had got loose. He had got loose down there trying to keep from hitting somebody.
300 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
14 laps, Mark Martin leading Bobby Labonte, Joe Nemechek, Ricky Rudd in 4th, Robert Presley in 5th, Kyle Petty is 6th, Bill Elliott 7th, Rick Mast is 8th, Kenny Schrader 9th, Morgan Shepherd 10th, then Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and Derek Cope. Didn't take long, did it, to see who the handling cars are and who the non-handling cars are?
Yeah, we all were talking about that before the show, and you know, there's a lot of cars that were the same in practice, and you know, now we see Jeff Gordon and we see Terry Labonte, Morgan Shepherd, Kenny Schrader. You know, everybody looks like they're handling good, but now we're going to see what's going to happen in the next 20 laps.
That's the battle for 9th place. That you're watching, Kenny Schrader in 9th, Morgan Shepherd, number 21, in 10th. Labonte, the number 7 of Bodine, is 1 lap down.
You see at the back of this train right here, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, they're moving up. They're just not in as big a hurry as we're used to seeing them come up through the crowd, because this racetrack is a give-and-take racetrack. You jump in there and hook somebody, you cause a huge wreck.
This group is 4.5 seconds behind the race leader.
I think this place right here, track position, is going to be so important. You know, pit stops are going to be unbelievable important, and you know, this race has always had that type of deal, but you know, right now the cars are so much equal. I think that now track position is going to be even more. I think we're going to see some 2-tire stops. Obviously, Ricky Rudd won the race last year doing a 2-tire stop, but I really think that the tires are, you know, keeping their speed for a long time. So we're going to see some 2-tire stops, and pit stops are going to be critical.
This is Kenny Schrader leading this bunch. You see Morgan Shepherd looking into the inside there. I believe his car is a little bit quicker than Kenny's in the corner, but he can't get the move on him because Kenny's car is extremely strong down the straightaway.
Let's recount that of the cars involved in that incident. Dale Jarrett is still on the lead lap, but is fading. Dave Marcus is back in and amongst the fray, and here comes Earnhardt and Gordon. This would be back at 13th position.
That's Derek Cope in the 12 car there. He's run this group down and moved right up in the fray.
Now Earnhardt's actually passed Gordon because Gordon was in front of him for a while. Now Earnhardt's passed him, and it looks like Earnhardt's pulling away from Gordon. 13th place.
Pulling down on the Pennzoil Pontiac and Mike Waltrip.
See Jeff Gordon's car kind of hook a little bit there coming out of the corner. Back end jumped out just a little bit. He did lose a lap a while ago when they brought him in for that stop and go penalty.
Oh, buddy, they held him a lap. They held him until the leader went by. It was a full 1 lap penalty box.
Same difference. Deal. 1 lap down. I guarantee you he's fuming right now.
So now here's Earnhardt looking inside Michael Waltrip.
Also looks like
right there.
Michael give him some room there. You see Michael Waltrip move out. He knows Earnhardt, when he gets his nose up under there, he's going to go somewhere.
And Terry Labonte goes after Schrader. Makes the pass. With Shepherd now moving up into 9th place in that pack.
Schrader and Earnhardt, that's 2 hard heads going there, boy. They'll race themselves to death, and they love to race each other. Schrader might be off just a little bit. Ernie, it looks like the outside groove is going away quite a bit, because the minute that Schrader got to the outside, he lost about 7 or 8 positions.
Yeah, I don't really think there was much of an outside groove anyway. You know, there was never been anybody running up on the outside and running fast. That's going to come in later today, I think.
So there's Schrader, just outside the top 10 now. 22 laps complete. Mark Martin leads Bobby Labonte, Joe Nemechek, Robert Presley, and Ricky Rudd, the top 5. We'll be right back. Derek Cope started 23rd.
Yeah, he's running well.
13th.
We need to give him all. He hadn't had anything said about him all year.
At the beginning of the year, they ran real good.
Now, Jan Lady found that outside groove yesterday, and he kicked around pretty good there. That was the
Here goes Derek by Gordon.
Gordon's not handling just right yet. You got him? You're not giving money away yet, are you? Okay. Keep the faith.
Who does?
They're about to go a lap down.
Thank you.
That car is not working well at all right now.
Which one?
28.
No. Front, but must be something.
Spoiler angle.
Yeah, it's like better now.
Yeah, right. "27 laps complete here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Here's a look at your top 10 of the Slick 5300. Down through Terry Labonte in 10th place and down through Dick Trickle running in 20th. Bobby Labonte had been right on Mark Martin's bumper until the last time they went into turn number 1, where Mark opened up about 3 car lengths on Bobby, whose car pushed up to the high groove between 1 and 2.
Mike, a lot of times when you go in the corner, Ernie can verify this, you go in so hard that the car will not stick, and it goes right on out to the outside, and you can see the outside groove is not the place to be right now, so he lost quite a bit of ground there.
I tell you, they put a sealer on this racetrack yesterday or a couple, 3 days ago, and everybody started running. Well, nobody really ran the high groove, so obviously more of the sealer that gets wore off on the bottom groove gets faster. Top groove doesn't have the sealer wore off yet.
Now they have just overlapped Dale Jarrett, whose car was involved in that initial lap spin. There you see the right rear of Jarrett's car, the spoiler and deck lid pushed up, the bumper a bit askew. Other than that, Randy Pemberton, what's wrong with Dale Jarrett's car?
Well, I can tell you it's a somber bunch down here in the 28. The 28 crew is Larry McReynolds. We know you had some damage. What is it, and can you fix it?
Well, I think we can, Randy. We're going to have a caution to fix it. It sure would have been nice to have got one before the leaders got back to us. The right front wheel's towed out about 3 inches. Again, we can fix it, I think, but need a caution to do it.
Okay, that's the report from Larry McReynolds.
Jarrett, after the spin, backed into the wall, and then may have come around and caught it with the right front as well. Watch that 8 car tail end of that pack. See a little bit of smoke coming out the back of Jeff Burton's Ray Bestis Ford. As he goes into the corner, dissipates when he comes off the corner behind Hut Strickland, Dick Trickle, and Jerry Mayfield. Now there's a touch of it there, just coming up from under.
Well, Mike, if it don't get any worse than that, but the bad part is it's so early in the race to have any kind of leak that eventually you're going to use up whatever that is smoking. We don't speculate up here, but we certainly don't know.
I tell you, that race team right there has really had a tough time this year. I was talking to somebody this morning, and they haven't been in the top. They've only ran in the top 18 one time. I mean, so they've had a tough go of it.
Burton's crew thinks it's a valve cover leaking, valve cover gasket.
You see everybody lapping over Dale Jarrett there. When the front tire is towed out 3 inches like that, that's just like dragging the whole car down the straightaway. It just won't come up to speed, and I know he's wishing for caution right now.
Gordon Shepard goes past, so Jarrett joins Jeff Bodine and being 1 lap down. 33 of 300 laps complete. Just 2 cars off the lead lap.
Morgan Shepherd there. He's chasing Earnhardt through the corner. He looks like he's running quite well today. He said he was this morning when I talked to him. Morgan Shepherd said he was really getting through the corners good. And as you know, this racetrack is all corner. I mean, that's where you really set up to get the straightaway speed that makes it count.
Mike Wallace in the Heilig Myers Ford, whose name has been mentioned with several top rides for next season. Now driving for Jimmy Donlevy, and he'll go a lap down to Mark Martin.
You know, rumors are funny. This man owns part of this race team. Jimmy Donlevy gave him part of that race team. I'm not sure he's going anywhere.
I'm not either. But you hear some strange things this time of year.
Definitely.
Jeremy Mayfield caught on the outside in the RCA Ford of Cale Yarborough, and those other 3 Fords. Freight train by him. Now Ricky Craven in a Chevrolet drops to the inside. He's not going to get there this time.
Oh, we have one in the wall, the 22 car, Jimmy Hensley.
That's the Bill Davis MBNA Pontiac bringing out the second caution flag of the day. Right between turns 1 and 2.
See Jimmy coming out. He's got his window net down. He's getting out of the car right now. Trying to get everything unhooked. When you start getting out and all those radio connections and everything, you have to get all that unhooked before you can jump out.
Hensley 2 races ago replaced rookie Randy LaJoie in the Bill Davis Pontiac. And he's had a pretty hard lick into the wall. Gets out under his own power and waits for attention. Should see pit stops here.
Must have cut a tire down or something. It sure seems like. You know, now, yeah, again, remember, pit stops are going to be really critical right now. And, you know, the fastest pit crews are the ones that are going to, you know, benefit from this.
And as we've said, track position is so critical. The quickest crews. A lot easier to pass somebody when they're stopped on pit road than out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jimmy's still sitting there.
Well, he's okay. Looks like he just had a little bit of the wind knocked out of him.
And we look like we got pit stops coming. It looks like everybody's going to come.
Mark Martin leads the fleet down pit road. Mike Wallace and Jeff Bodine stay out. As they are not on the lead lap, they cannot pit this time.
I bet you we'll see some 2-tire stops. You know, obviously they're all pitting, so we're not going to be able to spot them off.
Here's Glenn.
Mark Martin comes in. He's been talking with Steve Mill about a slight chassis adjustment. They were only talking about maybe a pound of air added to the right rear. So evidently the car might be just a little bit too tight for Mark. But other than that, I see no signs of any chassis adjustment. So anything they did with air pressure. Randy?
Well, Jeff Gordon went for a 2-tire stop. He's down and away. Rusty Wallace is out. The 28 car is in. They're working on the rear end and the front end of Dale Jarrett's car. He's in for a lengthy stay. He'll probably just beat the pace car out.
Here's how they came off pit road. Jeff Gordon out first. Mark Martin out second. Bobby Labonte. Then Robert Presley, Joe Nemechek, Ricky Rudd, Terry Labonte, Morgan Shepherd, and Rusty Wallace. We'll be right back to Loudon, New Hampshire after this.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by RCA. Changing entertainment again.
A slip of the grip and bad luck for Bobby Labonte. They had a great pit stop. They got Bobby back out in 3rd place, but they left a wrench in the car, the one they used to adjust the jacking bolt. Look at the top of the left rear of the rear window. And there is that ratchet and the extension that turns that jacking screw. The mechanic takes it off, tosses it over the wall, and Bobby Labonte will restart tail end. Here's Glenn.
Well, you're looking at the wrench here. So Jimmy Makar is talking to his driver, Bobby Labonte. Of course, Jimmy is the crew chief on the car. We'll let them finish their conversation, and we'll get a word with him to see just exactly what they're going to do to Jimmy. Awfully tough break, but nothing you can do now but take your time getting back.
No, it wasn't. It was kind of a miscommunication here in the pits. We made a tire pressure change, and one of the guys thought we meant rounds and put the wedge wrench in the car to make the round change, and nobody made a change.
Saw you talking to Bobby there. You trying to calm him down or just tell him to take it easy?
No, he's okay. We just kind of go over what we got to do starting at the back. Kind of going to be a little tough now. We'll have to be calm and take our time, get to the front, but kind of be cautiously aggressive. So we got a lot of time left in the race. I think we'll be okay. We just have to stay out of trouble.
Awfully smart thinking there. They got an awfully good race car today.
They do, Glenn, but as you look at the top 10, buddy, two drivers that I've never known anybody had to calm down, the Labonte brothers.
They're pretty cool.
They are cool customers. The 28 car pitted with the cars on the lead lap, so he must restart at the tail end of the longest line, and that line is 38 cars long. Cars on the lead lap. Jeff Gordon has now led 15 of the 16 races this year, has 110 bonus points. You get 5 points if you lead a lap during the race, and the driver who leads the most laps gets an additional 5 points. We'll try to give you those stats in response to one of our 800 calls if we have it at the end of the day. We're ready to go back to green. Lap 41 and green flag flying. Jeff Gordon hauls him down to turn 1. That's Jeff Bodine, number 7, trying to get back on the lead lap as Mark Martin carries you into turn 1. Bodine got a good run up off the corner, got right to Gordon's bumper and no further.
It's not quite over yet. He's looking on the inside. He's making the move going into turn 3 there.
A bold move by Jeff Bodine. Here comes Mark Martin trying to take the lead. Almost took our in-car camera right there as he got up against Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Jeff got tagged just a little bit there, but Mark was already up under him. It was not meant to happen like that.
So Bodine is back on the lead lap, and Martin is back in the lead. Glenn?
Well, Mike, one of the reasons that Jeff Gordon decided to take on only 2 tires while the rest of the guys took 4 was track position. They wanted it very, very badly. They knew they could get up to the front of the pack and maybe not lose too many on the restart. Ray Evernham told him, Jeff, it's going to be a little loose in the center of the corner. Just take it easy. We'll gain in the long run by doing this.
Thanks, Glenn. Pretty much single file back through the field.
We have Strickland and Kyle Petty racing side by side. Hut's not able to make any positions on the outside there. He'll have to stay on the bottom until they work that groove up later on in the race.
To underscore Glenn's point, Jeff Gordon came into the pits 12th on that caution flag and came out first. Ricky Craven and Todd Bodine and Ward Burton, the 31, the Hardy's car battle.
See Ward Burton there taking a look, running there with Schrader on the inside of the racetrack. And you can see that outside lane. He lost about 3 car lengths. Here comes Ward Burton making it 3 wide down the back straightaway as they go towards turn 3.
Schrader had to check up coming off turn 2 to keep from getting into Strickland, and Ward Burton drives on past.
Well, this is a give and take, and I guarantee you if I'd have been in 3rd lane, I'd have been given.
Second helping for Ward Burton. As he moves up now, Ricky Craven, the Kodiak Chevy, number 41 on the inside. Pulls underneath Hut Strickland. Ooh, they bump, they bang. And Strickland goes around in the fence gently. A long ride for the Quaker State Ford of Hut Strickland. Will he sit there to draw the caution? No, he pulls away, and he didn't hit it all that gently.
No, that's pretty, you know, anytime you touch a concrete wall, it's backed up by the state of New Hampshire here, yes. So when you pop it, it's going to bend some stuff.
We stay under green.
Well, Mark Martin's making this look pretty easy right now. That car is doing everything he wants, but you see, everybody's not doing everything they can do right now. There's Jeff Bodine just in front of him. He's back in the lead lap now. And he actually passed the lead car.
Let's show you what happened to Hut Strickland. There's Ricky Craven, 41. Strickland is the other green car, 26.
Okay, you see Ricky right on the bottom there. They just make contact getting into the corner. There was nowhere for Ricky to go. He had the left front as far down next to that yellow line as he could go.
He lost about 4 positions. And Hut Strickland got into the fence and is now on pit road. Randy's right there.
Well, Hut's damage looks at least as bad as Dale Jarrett's. The trunk buckled in underneath the rear tires. Hard to see if the frame is bent underneath. It might be okay, but they've lost now 2 laps. They've changed 4 tires. Hut stalls the car, leaving pit road. They've got a little work to do on the next pit stop. He'll ride around so they can get her back in here.
One of the few disappointments they've had since Strickland has joined that team.
You know, that's a lot like the wreck that they had at Michigan when, you know, Ricky Rudd kind of come down on him. That's just part of racing, I guess.
Rusty Wallace and Rick Mast battle. There's Bill Elliott with Ted Musgrave, Derek Cope, Dale Earnhardt, and the 30 car of Michael Waltrip. We'll be back to New Hampshire International Speedway after this.
Jeff Gordon's coming. Of course, he's being held up right now. Mark is. You know who's really moving right now? Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, Rusty was good in practice.
Okay. Whip. Pow.
Was Mark Martin going to go by him?
He's going to try.
Not going to quite get him.
He's not going to make it. I bet Mark's saying,
why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
Look at Robert Presley. We hadn't mentioned him. He's really on the move. He was dropping back before he made that stop.
Ward.
No,
31 and 31 right there. That was pretty gruesome looking.
That was a wreck.
Pack
just never happened. Now if you roll down, you're done. Mike Wallace in a very bad spot.
Especially the Hoosier tires, the rubber they put down on the racetrack is not at all conducive to Winston Cup cars. And they ran the outside a lot in yesterday's race. I wonder if that's some of that. That's why the outside's so bad.
Might be, because they, like I said, they put a sealer down first. Now the Hoosiers were a different
Kyle,
rubber.
he was all the way on the flat.
Last year, I led a lot of this race, and I run all 4 tires underneath that yellow line. Almost all the time until finally that was the place to be.
.55 laps complete in the Slick 5300 here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Mark Martin in front of the field. Jeff Bodine there on the tail end of the lead lap at number 7. Show you another look at what happened from Sterling Marlin's car. Was one of 4 cars that went by Craven and Strickland. Marlin running 20th, Earnhardt 13th, Gordon is 2nd. Those are the 3-point leaders. And look at the right side of your screen there. Robert Presley just behind the 2 leaders. What a great run the rookie driver is having for Leo Jackson today. Let's go to his pitch.
Well, guys, one of the reasons that he may be doing so well so early is that Robert has had more experience on this racetrack than anybody else here. He ran all the Busch Series races. So, Charlie, is that a lot to do with it, the experience that Robert has here?
I think it has a lot to do with it. He came here with a good setup. Guys back in the shop gave him a good car. Robert put a good setup under it. It's looking pretty good right now.
Well, it certainly is. Of course, this is Charlie Presley, Robert's brother and crew chief. And next door to them is Joe Nemechek. Joe also has a lot of experience on this racetrack. It seems to be paying off early here for those young guys.
That's right, fans. Remember that when Bob Bear built this super speedway, he ran Busch Grand National racing for several years before NASCAR would grant him a Winston Cup date. So the drivers who ran those races may have an edge here today. Presley trails Ricky Craven by 1 point in the Rookie of the Year chase. John Andretti moving up on Sterling Marlin.
There's Jimmy Spencer. He's on the move right now. He's up under Ricky Craven getting in that corner. He's just behind these cars that we're looking at, this Dick Trickle. And I noticed a while ago that Sterling Marlin's car, when we had the in-car camera on it, he's running those headers again that everybody was talking about in Daytona.
Now, Ron Pittman said those were only for Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, but you know how motorsmen are.
No, how are they?
They'll tell you a fib.
Ron Pittman would not do that. Here's your Napa Field standing update. Napa, we keep America running. Here's how they're running at 58 laps. We had an 800 call about gas mileage. We estimate about 5 miles per gallon for the Winston Cup cars. And I asked Ron Pittman that one day at Daytona. I said, can you make it on fuel? And he says, heck, he says, this thing gets better gas mileage than my wife's station wagon.
Yeah.
Glad I don't drive her station wagon.
Tail 15 spotter right now. Tail rear dog, good solid, bro, get him.
Now, that's the interplay between the 37 car of John Andretti and the 4 car of Sterling Marlin. A little horse trading going on up here to our right on the roof. We're going to talk to the spotter for Dick Trickle for the 15 car. Try to work something out. There goes Andretti.
Good to Stollery.
Boy, Andretti's running very well. He passed Sterling like he was stopped going in turn 3 over there.
20th place. And Jimmy Spencer, the camel car just behind Marlin's Kodak machine. 60 laps are complete here at the Magic Mile in Loudon, New Hampshire, and Mark Martin has been in front for most of them. We'll be right back with you live on TNN.
We keep America running. Oh, my ear. Man. Boy, look at Spencer. He's rooting and gouging every once in a while. But yeah, that's just fixing to say that'd be a good car to watch. He's fixing to.
Yep. Jimmy's going to get most obvious performance right here.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Sterling Marlin's dropped a few spots from when we left. Jimmy Spencer just sliced underneath him, and so did Bobby Hamilton in the STP Pontiac just ahead. So Marlin continues to drop a few positions, not going to aid him in his quest to stay 7 points ahead of Jeff Gordon and 16 ahead of Dale Earnhardt. He has slipped to 23rd. As Jimmy Spencer continues to move forward, passing Dick Trickle.
Don't do it.
What Buddy Baker was saying was, please, Dick Trickle, don't pull down. Now you hear the spotters, they're saying clear, you know. When the car goes by and the spotter sees that they're clear, they'll tell him clear.
See Bobby Hamilton there, the car is right on the bottom of the racetrack. It's handling quite well. He and Spencer have really moved up in the past couple of laps.
Ooh, look at Marlin pull down on Bobby Hamilton getting into the corner. Once again, if you have questions for us, give us a call here at TNN. Questions about today's race, toll free 1-800-451-7331. John from New York wants to know, what's the difference between the helmet these drivers wear and his motorcycle helmet?
Well, actually, the motorcycle helmet would be basically the same thing we would wear in a race car. Now, I don't know what his motorcycle helmet actually is, but we wear a Simpson helmet. Most all the Winston Cup guys do. And, you know, they're usually, most of us all wear a full-face Simpson helmet.
My guess, John, the major differences are the D-rings are a little different shape for a cycle helmet. They got flat sides instead of round ones. There's a fire retardant interior in the racing helmet. The racing helmet has a Snell Foundation sticker that it's been inspected and approved. That's the big difference.
And the one thing I love the best is the fresh air duct in the side.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, with the full-face helmets, you have to have some air in these.
I tell you, they've got some words going around with Jimmy Spencer. He really been loose off the corner a couple times, and I think he's just about sideswiped the fence there a little bit, but he's really running good.
Jimmy runs one way. Wide open.
No, it's two ways. Wide open, half turned over all the time.
Mr. Excitement, they named him when he ran the modifieds and won the national championship. Won 2 races last year, Daytona and Talladega in July. Here's Bill Elliott running in 10th place in the McDonald's Ford. Leading a pack that includes the family channel Ford of Ted Musgrave, the mane and tail Ford. Almost losing part of that tail was Derek Cope. And the man in black, the Goodwrench Chevy, 7-time champion Dale Earnhardt.
You can see Dale got just about up where Derek Cope would know he's there, but not quite. And Dale had to check up a little bit until he come right back across it on the front of the 3-car.
I tell you remember last year, I led a lot of this race and actually had put Dale Earnhardt a lap down because he wasn't running all that well. And you can't ever count Dale Earnhardt out. He'll work on their car. They'll work on their car. Next thing you know, Dale Earnhardt gets his lap back. Pretty soon he's in the lead and racing for the win.
Earnhardt didn't win that race. Ricky Rudd did. But to me, that was one of Earnhardt's most impressive drives of all last season to come. He lost a lap in less than 100 laps, maybe 60 laps.
I think it was about 60 laps.
I think you're right. And then came back and was a contender.
Speaking of contenders, right there in the 16 car, Ted Musgrave, I don't know if anybody has had a better year than he's had. He's so consistent. Don't count him out of the points race yet.
He's in 4th, 110 points out of the lead. Trouble on Dick Trickle's car. The engine may have let go. A lot of smoke out of turn 2. Trickle drops to the inside. Tough day for Bud Moore's team.
Great run in Daytona. Got shuffled around on the restart there. I think he was running in 7th and got into the wall a little bit. Some cars helped him get over into it and ended up way back in the field there. But they had a great run all day.
You can see Jeff Gordon working on Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon only took 2 tires on him. So that's going to tell all these guys in the pits that, man, maybe we only have to put 2 on. So next stop, the majority of the guys will probably put 2 on. Jeff Gordon's probably going to have to put 4 on. So whereas advantage he got back to the front this time, now the advantage is going to be away from him a little bit.
But now they know that a 2-tire stop works, and it really doesn't hurt them badly.
Right.
Dick Trickle's car on pit road with the hood up. Bobby Labonte, who had that penalty, has gained only 9 spots since the restart. And we'll be right back to Loudon, New Hampshire after this. Okay.
Big boomers.
Big movers.
Movers, oh.
Not boomers.
I thought you said big boomers. Oh, please, guys. Give me a break.
I think we've shown most of
Where is Bobby Labonte at now?
He's 7 seconds from going a lap down.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's track position. You want to make an argument about it.
Dale Jarrett and Bodine side by side. Ooh, turn 4. Ooh.
Oh. Good, clean driving.
Yes. Just what we would expect.
I don't think it's done yet.
Yes, it is. Proud of him.
Thank you.
If Jeff Bodine gets a caution flag, he's as fast as the leaders. Maybe a little faster.
Yeah. What do you hear about all the stuff on juniors cars?
Look at Mark using that headrest with that helmet.
Dumb stuff.
Look at it working.
Yeah.
Mark he just lays in there. They didn't fix it. Uh-oh.
Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire International Speedway. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin. Randy Pemberton, Glenn Jarrett on pit road for TNN today. Mark Martin continues to hold sway. Remember the penalty to Bobby Labonte? He is only 5 seconds on the racetrack from going a lap down. That penalty really cost him. Track position, as we said at the top of the day, is everything here. Labonte came out of the pits third, had to stop to remove a jacking bolt wrench, had to restart 38th. Now may be in trouble because here come the leaders.
Well, the same people he's trying to pass, so the leaders have to go by now. The only thing they do have is the advantage of the flagman working with them to move the lap over cars out of the way. So there's always an advantage to be on the lead lap.
I'll tell you, Buddy Baker brought up a good point. If Jeff Loudon gets back in the lead lap, which he's on the lead lap now, but he's actually outrunning Mark Martin right now. So if he can get back, get a caution, and get to come back around, he's going to be a contender today.
Chuck Bound about to be overlapped by the race leader. Mark Martin, very interesting sponsor on Bound's car underneath Active Racing. I'm not sure we can get a shot of it, but I'll tell you about it. Now here's Gordon underneath Bound. Gets it by. And there's Bound. David McCorriston of Bristol, Connecticut was taking his girlfriend through the garage area today. And under Active Racing where it says, "Connie, will you marry me, David?" Connie Russo said yes. What a way to propose on the side of a Winston Cup stock car.
Oh, that is neat.
So Connie and David, best of luck. Hope the marriage lasts longer than the sheet metal on most of these cars. Pretty neat deal.
See Steve Grissom going a lap down there. There's Mark Martin, and you see Jeff Gordon. He only changed 2 tires, but he may have had a handling problem that they figured if they just changed the right sides, it would really make the car better. So a lot of times you do that. Instead of taking on 4 tires, you take on the right sides and maybe loosen the car up just a little bit.
Let's go back to the battle for 5th place, where Robert Presley's trying to hold off Terry Labonte. Labonte 7th in the point standings at this halfway juncture. And Presley battling Ricky Craven for Rookie of the Year. Presley started outside pole today.
Well, Terry Labonte gets by him. It would do Robert Presley proud just to follow this guy because he knows where that winner's circle is.
And here comes Rusty Wallace, who has come from 20th on the starting grid to 6th place today.
Like I said, Rusty was one of the real good cars in practice. And you see Rusty's line through the corner. I mean, he's going in real low, and he's coming all the way around the corner, and it's right near the apron.
Ernie, he's within a half car length of getting as low as you run here.
Now, last year I ran really, really low, but the problem was is the outside, the racetrack was breaking up. 90% of the cars would run the outside like that. I would run real low on the apron. Well, what happened was is I was the one running it, and it ended up breaking the inside up too. So the groove went away. So I got passed by a couple guys, and I had to change my groove.
Talking about breaking it up, as we were talking just then, Rusty Wallace just went by Labonte like he was stopped.
Well, I think Labonte, once Rusty got the bottom, looked like Terry let him go.
Yeah.
Labonte is one of those drivers who picks his battles.
Yeah, he'll fight you later.
Right. It's like, I don't have to fight you now, but I'm going to be back and get you later.
I think he fights you when it counts.
That's it.
I think the old saying is, you want to fight? No, but I'm going to. That's Bill Elliott there. He's getting by Mike Wallace. Mike's just a little bit off on the corner times. Here comes Earnhardt making it 3 wide, which is not unusual. Look at Ted Musgrave stick that car right on that yellow line.
Which Derek Cope right there in the main and tail Ford. His car's been running really good today too.
Yeah, Cope came 23rd on the starting grid. He's now in 13th.
Michael Waltrip in the 30 car there.
And his name has been dropped into the rumor mill about next season.
He's been in the rumor mill for the past 10 years. Chuck Ryder likes him. He's a good race car driver. He's going to win sooner or later. He's good enough to win.
Dick Trickle's back in the race after Bud Moore's crew repaired a broken power steering line. Presley and Wallace, the 93 winner. Dale Jarrett involved in a crash early on and is now, let's see, 2 laps down. At 88 laps, Mark Martin leads Jeff Gordon, Joe Nemechek, Robert Presley, the rookie, Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte, and Morgan Shepherd.
Make him loose, Rusty, off that corner. Ooh, we make him earn it. You see him on the steering?
See it, Rusty?
Yep, yep. He won't mess with you very long, either.
No.
He'll give him about 3 or 4 times to cut him.
Get ready to get him right now.
I don't know. Presley's car is a rocket ship down the straightaway. Right here's where Rusty's flying. Right, watch where he picks the throttle up here. Look.
There he goes. He's got it now.
Always in commercial. Only the satellite fans see it.
Terry said, I got it, man. Just make a big hole for me to go through.
Yeah.
Look here. The pass in the grass. Soon to come. Nope. Where's Earnhardt now?
11th. I'm sorry, 10th. 9 seconds back. I heard seconds back.
Uh-oh. She's doing it again. Thank you.
Uh-oh. Now
glad I didn't say that.
Sarcasm.
No.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
92 laps complete here at Loudon. Mark Martin continues to lead Jeff Gordon. Joe Nemechek having one of the best runs of his Winston Cup career in 3rd as we watch this battle from 9th on back. Make it 10th on back. There's Bill Elliott in 10th, Ted Musgrave 11th, Derek Cope in 12th, Michael Waltrip is 13th. This group are kind of evened out. But up here, Rusty Wallace had moved past Terry Labonte and now goes after Joe Nemechek. 3rd place at stake here.
Not for long.
Nope. Wallace moves on by. Nemechek's gotten into the right front of us.
Take at least a piece of tape off. These brakes are starting to get hot.
That's Rusty.
He's a field general. When he's out there, he'll tell them, I want 1 pound out of the right front. I want this on the rear spoiler. Do this, do that. All the way through the race. I mean, he is calling the shots for everything they do on this race car.
Now here's Labonte's gotten past Nemechek. Kellogg's car up a notch and back into the top 5.
I have to say Rusty's one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. You know, he went by the 33s, he went by the 5, and you know, he's really running real well today.
Dale Jarrett's made a stop for 4 tires, and you're riding with Dave Marcus, looking back to Elton Sawyer. Robert Harrington, one of the top longtime crew chiefs in this sport, asked me to pass along a thank you to all the folks up here. He said the hospitality we've been shown by even the people who park the cars, everybody at the racetrack, the folks at the hotels, everybody has been, he said, it's like it used to be down south with old-fashioned Southern hospitality up here in the Lakes region of New Hampshire. He thought that was pretty neat.
Well, we do too.
I tell you, we noticed that when we come in and out of the garage and we come in and out of the tunnel. I mean, even the tunnel guy, he acted like he was having a fun time parking the cars and stuff today.
On your outside.
It's not often you have that. Here goes Rusty Wallace trying to get by Dave Marcus on the outside.
And you're listening to Marcus's radio communication with his crew and spotter. Yeah, there are a lot of race fans up here. You never know it to read some of the major daily papers here that insist on covering stick and ball sports that draw about a quarter of the attendance that's here today, but that's the way it goes.
I talked to Roger Bear that owns the racetrack. He told me that he had requests for at least 40,000 more seats.
Gosh.
I mean, he could have sold 40,000 more seats, but they can't get them in and out of here. I mean, it's like the maximum you can get in here. And, you know, he would put more grandstands up because I tell you, it's a really, really pretty place. And they've done a great job with it.
Ted Goddard here, who handles the facilities, told me this morning, he said, we've added 22 acres of parking. It's all used up. He said, we're going to have to work out how to shuttle people from Concord and from Laconia to ease the parking problem. And he says the biggest problem they have right now is so many people come to the racetrack, one person to a car. If they could alleviate that, it would ease traffic congestion coming and going, and they'd be able to get more people there.
That's for sure.
Here's a traffic jam in the making.
Derek Cope making a move on Ted Musgraves there. Derek Cope is running very, very well today, and I look for them sometime during the year to really do something special because that's a good race team. It's Bobby Allison's race team.
Looked like Joe Nemechek had his loose problem back again from the time when you were mentioning it at the beginning of the race.
Report we have on Nemechek's car is that the brakes had been heating up and become ineffective, so he eased the car for a few laps, get a little more brake and pedal back in it, and then was able to go back after and pick up a spot or two.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling, especially here. As long as the straightaways aren't as flat as the corners are, the brake pedal starts getting spongy, and you start pumping about halfway down the straightaway to get enough pedal built up just to get in the corner. Not a good feeling.
So at 101 laps, there's your leaders, Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon, the Valvoline Ford and the DuPont Chevrolet. We'll be back to New Hampshire International Speedway live on TNN after this.
I believe my predictions may fall today.
Ernie's looking pretty smart.
Yeah. Well, Bobby Labonte's holding his own. He stayed about the same, but that track position killed him.
He's still, he's speeded up. He's 6.5 seconds for going left down. Plus 5.
So he's running good still.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that track position, everything is.
Sterling Marlin not running very well today.
No, he's got motor trouble.
Okay, thank you.
I think.
He's what?
He's not running down straightaway, it don't look like.
No. Oh, here's a good one. What is the penalty box?
Let me see what he's turning.
Says Courtney, who has never been to a hockey game.
He does not have an engine problem. He's just turning 8,400.
Who?
Sterling.
Okay.
Gordon on them 2 tires still staying right with Mark.
Okay. That or a bunch of trailers.
Yeah, that'll have something to do with the ladders. When they come down to the end, a lot of people just take
everybody
on
be 2.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what Gordon and them do now because they're going to have to.
Can we get some strategy from those 2 pits? From the pits of 6 and 24?
Gordon will have to
That'd be
change
a good
left
idea.
side.
Yeah.
He'll have to change left side to next
They'd have
stop.
to change 4 on those.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. Whoa, baby. Look at Strickland. He's still running good with that thing all bent up.
Yep. Always 3 down. 3 laps down. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire, and the Slick 5300 live on the Nashville Network. For information on Featherlight trailers, call 1-800-800-1230. Featherlight, official trailer of NASCAR. Tense moment for Mark Martin as he tried to get past Jeff Burton right between turns 1 and 2. Thought better of it and cracked the throttle. Jeff Gordon just 1 car length behind the race leader, Ford versus Chevrolet here.
Mike, that's what makes Mark Martin the driver that he is. He never makes a mistake that takes him out of a race. It's give and take, and he knows it. He gets in there a little hot, and it might be a wreck. He'll back off long enough to get everybody straight again.
We've had several questions about our in-car cameras and how they are chosen and why Mark Martin always seems to have one. Well, the folks that sponsor that car, they obtain or purchase an in-car camera from TNN for every Winston Cup race we televise. Other sponsors do so likewise. In fact, on all the cable network telecasts, the in-car cameras are sold to the car sponsors. But, well, we say sold. They cover the cost of installing and operating the camera and the helicopter that hovers above the racetrack to transmit the pictures from the race car, bounce off the helicopter, and then down to the Boykin communications truck next to our TNN truck, where you get these great pictures from.
You can see Jeff Burton's car there getting really sideways just in front of Mark Martin. I bet Mark's going, you know, I'd like to do something here pretty quick because it looks like the A car is just a little bit off. You see the back end of the car jump around right there.
Now, did he wave Mark to the inside?
No, I don't think so.
Didn't look like it yet.
Thought I saw a wave. Guess not. Well, pit stops will be coming up when, Glenn?
Well, guys, when Mark Martin's pits, they're expecting him in on the next lap. They gave him about a 3-lap interval a while ago. They told me lap 110. They may go to lap 111. They're going to go with 4 tires. They're going to obviously fuel. They're going to make a slight adjustment on the car. It was a little bit tight. They made it a little too loose to Mark's liking, believe it or not, even though he continues to lead. It's a little bit loose, but very slight adjustment. Put it back like it was when the race started. Randy?
Well, they're starting to rush around in Jeff Gordon's pit. I went up to Ray Everingham. No strategy there. They got to take 4 tires. They're running second. 2 tires will do you no good right now. You still got almost 200 laps left. The 2 car, Robin Pemberton and the guys, they're talking about when they're going to pit. They're also going to take on 4 tires. Really no chassis adjustments to speak of down here, Glenn.
I think there'll be wholesale pit stops next time by. I see 9 crews standing on the wall holding Jackson tires and ready to jump. So pit stops are imminent. Boy, if Mark stops, that's a break for Jeff Burton and Jeremy Mayfield.
Momentarily it is anyhow, but
Yep.
they have to stop pretty quick too. Even though they're about to go a lap down, they're still running quite well.
We all have the same amount of gas, right?
That's it.
7th and 8th place, the Winston Cup champion and the defending champion of this race. Jeff Bodine surrenders his tail end of the lead lap position to become the first car to make a green flag stop in this round. And he will get 4 tires on his X-Side 4. Derek Cope, the straight arrow main and tail Ford is also in. Oh, Jeff Burton.
I thought he'd cut a tire just for a second. Looked like Jeff Burton was going straight there. Here comes Mark Martin down the pit road as we speak.
And Jeff Gordon stays out. So Mark Martin comes down towards Steve Meal and the crew, lap 113 if you're keeping tally at home. Pit board is also out for Kyle Petty as Derek Cope completes his service. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, guys, as Mark Martin pulls down into the pits, they told us he was going to put on 4 tires. That's so we'd say that and all the other teams would hear that. Now they have decided to go with the right side tires only. So after they got everybody else's attention and said 4, they're going to put on 2 right sides, send him down and away. They like the idea of what Jeff Gordon did. The right sides are on, he's down and away. Randy, he's in Gordon's pit.
Well, they're waiting for Jeff Gordon. I'll tell you, that is a funny thing that they did. 2 tires. It does put the pressure on these guys down here. The 2 right side tires going around. They're loosening the left side lug nuts, no doubt about it. They're going 4. Robin Pemberton also waiting for Rusty Wallace. These guys wanted to pick up 5 bonus points, both Jeff Gordon as well as the 2 car. The left side tires going on the 24 car right now. Good pit stop, should go a lap down, but Jeff Gordon away 17th lap. Wow, these guys are cooking in the pits. They're waiting for Rusty Wallace to come down pit road.
Great stop for Gordon. Ted Musgrave got 4 tires. Kyle Petty is getting 4. Brett Bodine is in. So is Jeremy Mayfield. Ward Burton has 4 tires. Ricky Craven, Steve Grissom, the 23 of Jimmy Spencer. And let's go to Randy at Rusty Wallace.
No wedge wrenches for Rusty Wallace. Right side tires already on, coming around. Scott Robinson with a jack. 1 pump, car up in the air. This looks like a good stop so far as well for Rusty. Gas is in, down and away. Another great stop on pit road.
16.5.
Wow. I used to take that long to get it out of neutral and get it in low gear. That's incredible.
Now remember, they've changed some of the pit road rules at the beginning of the year this year. So most of the stops were 20 seconds, 19.5 and stuff like that. Now they're back to going 16.5, 17 flat.
Rich Bickle's been in. Joe Nemechek is in. So is Rick Mast. Here's Terry Labonte coming down the pit lane. Mike Wallace has completed his stop. Todd Bodine is in as well. And Robert Presley is in. Here's Randy.
Well, the boys for the Kellogg's Cornflake machine on the wall, poised and ready for Terry Labonte to hit his mark. Labonte brings it in nice and smooth, doesn't lock him up at all. Walter Smith with a jack, puts the Kellogg Chevy up in the air, automatic 4-tire stop. You wonder what this is going to do to the strategy of Mark Martin right now. Around to the left side, Jack is up once again. Labonte having a good stop, not as good as Martin's or Gordon's or Wallace's, it appears. He's down and away.
19.1 seconds for Terry Labonte. Here's Glenn.
Presley's pit. Well, we got a problem in Robert Presley's pit. He came in for a 2-tire change and he stalled the engine. Something happened. It fluttered. I don't know if he was out of fuel or what. They sprayed some starting fluid in it and it helped him start it back up, but he lost valuable time. The time that he might have gained with the 2-tire change was wasted by the car stalling. Tough break for Robert Presley. He's still got a good race car, though.
And here's your leader. Dale Earnhardt and Ricky Rudd have yet to pit, as does Morgan Shepherd.
I tell you, I still think what Mark Martin and them did was a smart thing. I mean, take 2 tires on a green flag, and make sure you can get some more guys a lap down.
Well, it was obvious what Earnhardt wanted. He wanted those 5 points for leading a lap right there, and he'll probably be coming in pretty quick now.
Well, that point battle is tight enough that those 5 points could be very important come season's end. Bobby Hamilton is in the STP Pontiac. So is Sterling Marlin, the Kodak Chevrolet. The Span Ford of Lake Speed coming in for its stop. 4 tires for Sterling Marlin and 4 for Bobby Hamilton. Lane called in from Connecticut. Must have seen that cover story in Forbes magazine this week. Wants to know if it's possible to buy stock in NASCAR.
They don't need it.
Wish it were. The France family in Daytona Beach founded and privately holds the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing. So you won't find it listed, folks. However, some of the speedways are public corporations. Contact your local broker for information. Here's Ricky Rudd, the defending champion of the Slick 5300 in his tied Ford. Morgan Shepherd is also in, and Bill Elliott in the McDonald's Ford. You watch Bill Engel's team go to work here on Ricky Rudd, and this looks like a 2-tire stop.
That looks 4-tire. There's a
you're right,
tire man in the bottom.
Yep, down there at the right rear, they're loosening those lug nuts. 4-tire stop. Morgan Shepherd got only 2. Bill Elliott will get 4. Rudd is away. Chassis change on the right rear of Elliott's car. Huck Strickland is in, and Darrell Waltrip, the gas mileage king of NASCAR, finally comes in. Lap after everybody else. There's Darrell in the Western Auto Chevy. Told us yesterday, if you missed our telecast, the car wasn't quite right. He wasn't quite sure how he would run today, but he's held on to the lead lap.
He told me, he said, don't worry about how I'm running. I'll be up near the front when it's over. I said, okay, I'm going to keep you to it.
Bobby Hillen is in. So is Jeff Burton, getting right side tires on the Ray Vestas Ford.
Mike, you can see the difference in the car that has tires right now. You see Earnhardt is moving over and letting Rusty Wallace go. Earnhardt will be coming in this time, I'm almost sure.
The pit board is out for Dale Earnhardt. Way down in turn number 1. Last pit stall.
I just want to see him run another lap. He moves over like he wants these cars to go on. Dale's off the pace quite a bit right now. He needs to get in the pit.
I'm sure that they're all hoping for a caution now, because if they have a caution, Dale Earnhardt's going to look like a real smart guy, because most of the guys are going to be a lap down.
Dick Trickle, the Bud Moore Ford Quality Care Thunderbird, on pit road. And now they're up on top of the wall in the Earnhardt pit, so here he comes. Glenn Jarrett, 2 tires or 4?
Mike, Richard Childers told me this will be 4 tires, but after I said what I did on race day this morning, I don't know if they'll tell me the truth or not. No, he said it would be a 4-tire stop. They're going to make a slight adjustment with air pressure. The car not exactly to Dale's liking, but they've waited as long as they can. They went a long way, in fact, further than anybody has gone so far on this stop. They go to the right side. Nothing unusual going on right now. The left side lug nuts are being loosened, so it will indeed be a 4-tire stop. Looks like a good stop. I didn't get a clock on it. I hope somebody did, but this looks like a real good stop. Left side's on it down. 17.3 seconds. Excellent stop by Dale Earnhardt's crew.
Michael Waltrip in the Pennzoil Pontiac and John Andretti in the Kmart Little Caesars Ford become a couple of the final drivers to pit under this round of green flag stops. Wake up. We'll be right back.
Have I been cursed yet?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Should you be?
Probably.
Okay.
I know the truck has.
No, you have not.
Okay.
Not who I know of.
Not to my knowledge.
18 leading.
Bobby Labonte needs to
Who has not
in.
stopped besides him?
Bobby
Just
Labonte
him?
needs to get
He's
in
stopping
here.
right now.
Okay. Okay.
He led a lap, though.
See the last car?
Yep.
Opryland USA is the official destination of NASCAR. For more information, call Monday through Friday, 615-889-6611. Bobby Labonte led a lap, but his Interstate Battery Chevy is now on pit road, getting 4 tires. And he'll surrender the lead to Mark Martin. Green flag pit stops have been completed. Just about back where we were, with Mark Martin leading Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace up to 3rd, and Terry Labonte in 4th. Glenn Jarrett's in Mark Martin's pit.
Steve, you made a little bit of a gamble there to try 2 tires. Was it because of what Gordon did, or you just wanted to see what your car would do?
Well, Jeff ran real good on his too, and at the first yellow when we put on 4, the lefts were just perfect, so we thought we'd just go ahead and get right and try to keep them getting lapped or have a little bit of relief when everybody else pitted. Get us some breathing room and maybe stop a little short the next time if there wasn't a caution. Typically at New Hampshire, there's plenty of cautions, so it wasn't really a big gamble.
Does Mark say there's a lot of difference with the way the car feels?
No, he hadn't said a word. He just wanted to know where the leader was before everybody pitted. If we'd been lapped, and I just told him he was the leader, so he's just kind of riding right now.
Well, he definitely knows where the leader is now.
Yes, he does. That's Steve Meal, who grew up in upstate New York. For 5 years in his late teens and early 20s, he hung out at the L&R Speed Shop in Malta, New York. They ran a wrecker service during the week and sold speed parts and went stock car racing on the weekends. Sad bit of racing history is the L&R Speed Shop. It's torn down this week for further development.
Steve Meals one great crew chief. You see Darrell Waltrip fixing to go a lap down to Mark Martin, the race leader here. DW said, I don't think so. I'm going to race you just a little bit. He'll pick up his pace. One thing about Darrell, you don't know what he has until somebody puts a little pressure on him.
Well, he heard you were talking about him.
Front straightaway. Martin looks to the inside. No. Nothing there. Now, where's Jeff Gordon?
Right there.
There's the difference in the pit stops. 2 tires versus 4. There's the second place car. Right behind the number 40 of Rich Bickle, the Kendall Pontiac. And here's the race for 6th place with Derek Cope getting underneath Rick Mast. And here comes Ricky Rudd, last year's winner of this race. 12 straight years, Rudd has won at least one Winston Cup race. Hasn't yet won this year, but last year he hadn't before he came here to New Hampshire.
Well, usually as the racetrack gets slick, he gets better and better because he's one of the best slick track drivers I've ever watched, and don't count him out yet.
He's in the chase late in the day. Rudd will be a contender. 133 laps complete. The race is stabilized after this round of green flag pit stops, so we'll take a quick break and be right back to New Hampshire after this.
Make it lighter. Make some race rider. Please run side by side. Somebody. Musgraves and Lake Speed are going at it.
Okay. Okay.
Don't you dare leave this action.
Yeah, we're kind of light on our sold features so far, huh? No good. Dale Earnhardt bumped the 12 and 24. Why didn't he go to the penalty box? Thank you, Rhonda. We'll pass that one down to Mike Helton.
Look at ODW. He's still running ahead.
Okay, Larry, here we go. Larry from Illinois. Why does the car run better on fresh tires?
Has something to do with a rubber compound being cool.
You get to tell everybody. If there are any of those you like, you know, help yourself. Okay. I have it. Thank you.
If I'm not mistaken, does rubber have a petroleum substance to it also? As it heats up, it gets oily?
I don't think it really gets oily, buddy.
You had
tacky.
I got to put you in one of these heavy things.
Yeah, that's why my race car only weighs 1,500 pounds.
No, I won't touch on that.
It gets tacky.
What it does,
Sticky tacky.
it gets hot and loses traction. Larry from where?
Illinois.
Illinois. I thought he was ill.
There.
I thought he was ill.
No, he's not. Oh.
Just kidding if you're watching.
Well, we're in New Hampshire, and the flags are flying. Quite a variety here. If you see the TNN team going down the road in the new Winnebago from Cedar Ridge Motorhomes, give us a wave and give them a call. Winnebago and Cedar Ridge, the choice of champions. Call 1-800-988-4884 for more information.
Well, that looks exactly like the one you drove up here this week.
Yes, it does. No dents in that one either. Sorry, Joe. Just kidding. Just kidding. Ricky Rudd closing it down on Dale Earnhardt. You said Rudd would be a factor in this race, and he is proving it.
Yeah, here he comes. You see how low he runs through the corner. He picks up the throttle. He's an ex-motorcycle racer when he was younger, and most of those guys understand traction. Because you know the last thing in a motorcycle you want is the back wheel in front of the front.
Now, also tell me if this is myth or fact. When a driver comes back to a track where he last won, he's apt to be more competitive.
I think momentum means a lot. It always meant a lot to me. If I could go back to a racetrack that I won at, I felt like, well, maybe I had a little something on everybody is the reason I won here. Then I usually got proved wrong by getting beat. But
Ernie, you agree?
I'm not real sure. I don't think, especially when it's happened, like Ricky Rudd came. It's a year from now. You know, it was a year ago that he won the race here. So. I do think some of it has a factor, and also like our team. I mean, we knew we had a pretty good setup to come here, and we unloaded off the truck, and we were pretty competitive. So the racetrack doesn't really change. Race cars doesn't really change. So usually you should be able to come back and run good if you run good the time before.
Well, Rudd's running well. Here's Earnhardt, and here is John Andretti underneath Jimmy Spencer. Makes the pass.
Dig it now. Keep digging. Four.
Jeremy Mayfield is fun.
It's stay low. He's way up high there. Keep coming. Keep coming.
Buddy Barnes telling John Andretti to stay low and run
the yellow
the flag.
is out. Yep.
Caution flag. Caution flag. Keep digging now.
You know, if we get any more of these spotter radios, they're not going to need us up here.
Oh, those guys do a great job. I tell you, they get you out of more predicaments. They can see things you can't see from the race car.
I'm kidding, folks. I like it up here.
I tell you, nowadays, spotters are actually having two jobs. There's actually being two spotters. You'll have one spotter that judges what the cars are. Let's take a look at this. You can't really see.
Oops. Looked like Rick Mast might have gotten the back of Jeremy Mayfield, turned him just there coming out of turn 4.
And Trickle just saved going into Rick Mast. Jeff Bodine made up his lap. He passed Mark Martin one lap ago, so he is back in the lead lap.
That's why you never give up. You run every lap like it's the last one.
Ernie, you were saying 2 spotters.
Yeah, see, a lot of times what's happening is you're having one that actually watches ahead and looks at wrecks. You're having one other spotter actually being the eyes in the tower.
Look at this. Everybody coming down pit road.
And it hasn't been that long since they were in. About lap 120 for most of the cars, so they've been out there between 20 and 30 laps.
This is where all the bragging rights start.
Now we get to see which is the quickest of these 3 crews. Top to bottom, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace. And who will take 2, who will get 4? 2 tires for Gordon again.
Wow. It didn't even look like he hardly stopped.
I thought he gassed and goed.
Did he?
No, he was out pretty quick.
Rusty Wallace down pit road. Earnhardt shoves it in gear, gets the spot. Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, Sterling Marlin, and Morgan Shepherd off pit road. We'll come back and sort out the running order right after this word. We're under caution at New Hampshire.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys Automotive Supercenter.
Dale Earnhardt in that incident got into the back of Dick Trickle trying to check up and miss the incident. And the nose of his car is a little bit crushed in. Will that hurt it?
Nah, I don't think so.
I mean, just make it meaner and a little uglier looking.
Yeah. Remember Earnhardt when he had the whole front end tore off at Bristol?
The good part is you see the screened area there in the front. That's where the air goes back to the radiator, and that looks pretty good.
So we're set to go back to green. Earnhardt, thanks to a quick pit stop by his crew, and then number 1 pit stall that goes to the champion, is out of the pit second and right behind Jeff Gordon. Rusty Wallace is third. Ricky Rudd is fourth. In fifth, that'd be Mark Martin, who was leading when we came to caution. Sixth is Terry Labonte, and seventh is Sterling Marlin. Green flag at lap 148.
Jeff Gordon got a great start there. Look at Rusty Wallace moving by Earnhardt on the bottom side there. You see Hut Strickland in the green car there. Even though the back end of that car is torn up in a wreck earlier in the race, he's running quite well now.
3 laps down, though. Strickland in number 26. Rudd pulls to his bumper. Earnhardt's car is off.
Okay, he's moving over here. He knows he's 3 laps down. You can see him getting out of the way of the lead cars. Oh, we have a big mess here.
Jeff Bodine, Jeff Burton, Bobby Labonte.
I know it got the fucking toe.
Are 3 of the cars involved. Don't know whose radio that was. Wouldn't tell you if I did. Todd Bodine comes to the pit lane, and Dale Jarrett
it is
may
a
also
grown-up
have been
sport.
involved in that. We're sorry, folks, but as you well know, tempers flare. Trying to get a lap back is Mike Wallace. It won't happen as Gordon leads them across. As they pull on Todd Bodine's left side. Pretty torn up.
He broke the handout bar on Todd Bodine's car.
And look at Jeff Bodine's. That rear spoiler isn't doing much on the X-side Ford.
And he just got back into the lead lap, too.
Yes. We'll come back and sort it out, folks. 149 laps are complete. We are under caution for the 4th time today. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire, the New Hampshire International Speedway, and live Winston Cup racing on TNN. The AutoZone Tech Fact is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts.
You know, one of the most familiar faces in the Winston Cup garage area is that of Earl Parker II with Champion Spark Plugs. Now, if you've ever been at the track and seen the guys practicing, sometimes you'll hear them cut their cars off clean under full power down the back stretch. They bring the car into the garage area, remove the spark plugs, bring them right over to Earl's van. And Earl, what are you looking for when you read these plugs?
Well, basically what we do is we examine the firing end, the end that is actually in the cylinder. We look for coloration and deposits that tell us something about the state of tune of the engine. We look for track factors, weather factors, anything that can affect the state of tune, whether it's too rich, too lean, an oil control problem, ignition energy problem. Any one of about 20 or 25 different things can be spotted.
Why do they cut the car clean under full power down the backstretch?
That basically is like taking a snapshot, a Polaroid, if you will, of what's going on in the combustion chamber at wide open throttle. And that's what you're really interested in. When you drive it into the pits and you chug it in, as we say, the air-fuel mixture is not the same. There's so many things that aren't the same, and it basically destroys the plug reading. It destroys the snapshot.
Well, Earl has been doing this for Champion Plugs for about 8 years now. Before that, the man they came to was Earl Parker, his father.
And the amazing thing, Glenn, he does it all visually. No computers and no instruments. He looks at them and he reads those plugs. Here's your Goodyear mid-race recap, brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. 6 leaders, 9 lead changes, average speed, counting the caution laps down to 108 miles an hour. 4 cautions, and here are the leaders. Mark Martin has dominated today.
You want to see how soft the springs are in this 24 car here. When he was rocking it back and forth there, it raised up some 3 inches on the left front spoiler.
With the hood up, Bobby Labonte, and with the deck lid and rear area all apart, Jeff Bodine. As we get set to go back to green at lap 152, Bobby Labonte came in here 9th in the Winston Cup point standings. Jeff Bodine was 18th. Hold it down and let him go. Jeff Gordon brings him across as Labonte and Bodine rejoin the race. Getting his lap back, perhaps. Bobby Hillen on the inside. He does for now.
He does. Earnhardt. Here comes Earnhardt up on the inside.
For the lead.
Rusty will kind of look this over to see which one of these guys you see making a move on Gordon on the bottom side. Takes over second place.
Ooh, Ricky Rudd tries to come down, but Rich Bickle is there. Single file. Things just a little tense on these restarts for a couple of laps till it sorts out.
Yeah, there definitely are. Yeah, they're not as tense as they are right after a crash.
But it looks like with the jockeying around out there, because are there times when you feel, well, maybe I can't get them when we're running, but maybe I can just get them on the restart?
Oh, they're definitely, yeah. Man, there sure is Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt. You know, that's times of the past. You know, those guys have raced so much together, and now we're seeing it again. And both flat cars and both real good competitors. There goes Rusty. Looks like he's going to get by him this time, I think.
He's going to try, but that 3 car is a rocket ship down the back straightaway. He didn't quite have enough stuff to make the move. Look at Rusty's car in the center part of this corner, though. He made us give him a little nudge, let him know he's there.
I'm sure he probably will.
Rusty took a second turn of the wheel there, coming out of the corner.
Rusty's car is really getting through the middle of the corner, and that's what really you have to work on all day here at Loudon, New Hampshire. You know, you've got to get through the middle. Everybody has about the same amount of motor and, you know, same amount of forward bite. You know, getting into the corner, but getting through the middle, that's the main thing.
Lap 158. No, lap 150 is halfway. And now it was not a green lap, so at lap 158 they'll pay the $10,000 bonus.
Wow, he got up under Jeff Bodine and really got him loose coming up out of that corner. That's just like lifting the back end up when you get that close on the car. He really got sideways there.
Well, I'm sure Jeff's car's not handling like it was, you know, because he could stay in front of him.
Okay, here we go for $10,000. This time by whoever leads it. Yeah, Earnhardt needs $10,000 more. But there's a lot of pride at stake, too. And some points. Ring the bell for 10 grand.
Rusty's not going to let him have it for free.
Won't be jet fuel for Rusty. It'll be
jet
in Earnhardt's pocket. Yeah, right.
He's got a jet, too, yeah.
Rusty doesn't have a jet yet, so that's why he was wanting that $10,000, so he could get him one.
There's an Air Force right there in this film that we're showing you right here. These first 4 or 5 cars that are racing right now, everybody's got an airplane. You must have them anymore to get from point A to point B.
Well, and not just to go to the races, but the demand for personal appearances on these drivers is so great and their scheduling is so tight that oftentimes just can't accommodate the commercial airline schedules. It's a matter of convenience rather than a matter of status.
Look at Rusty Wallace. He's making a move on Earnhardt out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway for the lead.
Now, Jeff Gordon's got it the smart way because Rick Hendricks has airplane. Jeff doesn't have to have one. There you see Ricky Rudd. You can see him right at the back of the screen. Oh, Rusty got a little loose off the floor. Earnhardt's going to go ahead. I wonder how that happened.
Don't care to guess?
Look at Jeff Gordon now. His car runs well after about 4 or 5 laps. He didn't have the speed right at first. And Ricky Rudd coming along.
Mark Martin still there.
The 10 car is Ricky Rudd. He's leaving with Rusty Wallace going in turn 3. The 6 car there's Mark Martin, and just behind him, Morgan Shepherd in the 21 car.
The 2 Chevys took off, and they left the 4 Fords to battle among themselves.
Look at Morgan. Whoa.
Mark got in up high.
Morgan got real racy. Brothers Ford, Citgo car. In the wall, turn 1, Ward Burton. Just caught it with the left front. The car had already done a complete spin, but he went in pretty hard. And the Hardy Chevrolet will bring out the caution. This will be the 5th caution flag. Comes out at lap 162.
Quite a bit of damage. You can see that's mostly tire smoke.
Ward was 29th in the Winston Cup points. Spun the car but couldn't keep it off the wall. Didn't really see what started it.
Mike, on a flat racetrack like this, when a race car goes around, it's got nowhere to go but outside.
Yeah, that's for sure.
When it comes around this way, it's got nowhere to go but on the truck, I believe. But we'll see.
It looks pretty bad, especially the left front.
Well, he drove it in, so at least they think they've got a shot to get him back in the race. Tom from Illinois called in on our 800 number. Wanted a Bobby Hamilton out of Nashville, Tennessee. Any relation to Pete Hamilton, who won the Daytona 500 in 1970? No.
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 2 different parts of the country.
Pete Hamilton from Dedham, Mass. And Bobby Hamilton from Nashville, Tennessee. Rusty Wallace will pit. Everyone else stays out at lap 163. We'll let you know what they do to that car when we come back to Loudon. You're watching Winston Cup Racing live on TNN, the Nashville Network. Welcome back to TNN's live coverage of the Slick 50 300 here in Loudon, New Hampshire. We're under caution. This is the 5th one of the day for Ward Burton's crash up at turn number 1. With today's Peerless Faucets Innovation in Motion, here's Larry McReynolds. Peerless, get more out of your faucet than just water.
On a Winston Cup race car, this track bar or Panhard bar is a very valuable adjustment tool that teams use to adjust the handling on their race car. Up till about the middle of last year, teams really only use this tool during practice because it involved pulling a bolt out, moving the track bar, putting the bolt back in. You can raise this track bar and actually loosen the race car up, make it turn a little better. You can lower it and actually tighten the car up, tie the rear end of the car down. About the middle of last year, teams put this adjustment bolt in here and adjust it just as we adjust wedge on a pit stop. So now on a pit stop, you might see a crew member run this 1/2-inch drive ratchet down in this hole, and they'll go this way if they want to tighten the car up. They may back it off if they want to try to loosen the car up. This is just another adjustment tool that Winston Cup teams have learned to use on pit stops to make their performance even better.
And there's Larry McReynolds at work. Yesterday he was the weatherman on our Saturday telecast.
Well said by a man that ought to know.
Yes, one of racing's top crew chiefs.
He watches the Weather Channel more than baseball.
And he tapes it. He watches the reruns too.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Mike called him? Larry McReynolds.
Well, he was yesterday. Let's go back to racing. The front 5 without Rusty Wallace, who made a pit stop under that caution period. And Wallace will restart 19th.
Maybe Rusty had to pit and cool down or something.
Well, it does get him away from Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon, who've been battling pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't think that's why he stopped.
I don't either.
Here's Gordon for the lead. I'm in there. I'm out of there. Randy, why did Rusty pit?
Well, I wouldn't call it severe left front damage, but he definitely had some damage. It could have caused the tire rub. They had to come in and change the tires. Whether he got it from making contact with Earnhardt or some other car, it came from that incident when he lost the lead.
Thanks, Randy. Boy, a lot of tension on these restarts.
Well, Burton put down a little bit of oil in his oil draw on this racetrack. You can see Earnhardt go sideways in the middle of turn 3. There's quite a row of, you probably see it right there on the outside. You can see the oil draw through that corner. Pretty slick through there.
Earnhardt's car is really getting through the middle there pretty good, too.
It's a lot better than it was on the last restart.
Right.
Ricky Rudd in third, Chevy Ford.
And Jeff didn't go good on the last restart, so, you know, maybe if he stays in the lead for 4 or 5 laps, then he's going to be able to be all right.
3 wide back straightaway behind the leaders as they work past Elton Sawyer. There's that mess.
Wow.
Boy, Sterling Marlin made the big move and got underneath Terry Labonte and Sawyer, whose Hooters Ford has run up the racetrack.
That was some smart moves on everybody's part there to kind of give way a little bit, but there was some oil draw on the outside. Look at Ricky Rudd. He gets by Dale Earnhardt now. Moves into second place.
I hated to pick him to win 2 years in a row and be right 2 years in a row.
Oh, wait a minute. No, you can't do that.
I can't hedge my bet?
No.
Okay.
Where you start in the canoe, you finish in the canoe.
Well, my canoe sprung a leak, so I want another pick. 172 of 300 laps. Jeff Gordon the leader. Ricky Rudd in second. Dale Earnhardt in third. Chevy. In fourth, Morgan Shepherd's Ford. Fifth, the Ford of Mark Martin. In sixth, the Ford of Derek Cope. And seventh, the Chevrolet of Sterling Marlin. There's that battle. From fifth place, Mark Martin, you're looking ahead at Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford of the Wood Brothers.
Looks awful stable off the corner there. Morgan Shepherd looks really good. He's right up front. He's run a good conservative race all day today.
Just 3 cars ahead of them. I want to give a call to Todd Bodine in the Lowe's Ford. What an awful week. They went out to qualify, and Todd said the car just wouldn't run. And Brett Bodine, and Brett said the car just wouldn't pull. Then it turned out the throttle wasn't opening all the way. Then they got to run second round qualifying, and he says the car just, something's holding it back. There wasn't any grease in the transmission, they found. I mean, just small things, but he ended up with a provisional start, and he's a lap down, but he is the first car 1 lap down in 23rd spot.
I was just watching Ricky Craven had to make a stop and go just then. I don't know why, but I think you know.
Ricky Craven pitted early, but then didn't restart at the end of the longest line. He must have pitted with the lead lap cars. Craven is 2 laps down. So he will get a stop and go. And the winner of yesterday's Auto Palace 150 will backslide a bit in the field. Up front, Ricky Rudd puts the pressure on Jeff Gordon. Let's go down to Dale Earnhardt's pit and find out why Earnhardt has not been challenging Gordon for the lead off this restart.
Standing by with Andy Petrie. Andy, we see some nose damage on the car. First of all, what happened, and is it affecting the way the car's driving now?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it hurt us any. It's closed up a little bit of the air opening we've got, but we had too much to start with, so that didn't really hurt.
All right, is the car pretty much his liking? You told me this morning you thought you were really good. I know you've adjusted a little on it.
Well, you know, our long two today has really been in the long run. We haven't been that good right off the bat on a short run, so I didn't expect we could stay up front right now. If he'll stay in rhythm here, I think he can catch him back.
Well, if anybody can keep it in rhythm, that man can.
There's Earnhardt, 3 car lengths back of Ricky Rudd. And Jeff Gordon, the leader. In the point standings, they are 9 points apart. Morgan Shepherd, perennial top 5 point finisher, 10th in the points coming into this race.
Morgan Shepherd moved into 4th place, and just behind him, your early race leader, Mark Martin, is following him around. Morgan Shepherd is really running well today.
No surprise, he's a good slick track driver as well.
Indeed. You go to Martinsville, that's one of the cars you always have to worry about. He really knows how to get on that throttle and not break the car loose.
I'll tell you what, Morgan is one of the guys that just seems to always finish in the top 10 in points. You know, he's there every day. He's very seldom wrecked. He's real consistent. You know, I mean, Morgan's not a young whippersnapper. He's been here for a long time and a lot of experience.
That's what Darrell Waltrip said yesterday. He has a bunch of experience. That's it.
Experience. 53 years old, Morgan Shepherd. 179 laps. Jeff Gordon, who is but 23 years old, continues to hold sway here at New Hampshire. We'll be right back.
30 years.
Yeah.
30 years difference. Wow. I wish you'd asked Andy what the problem was with him and Rusty.
He asked me before I started, so what are we going to talk about? I said, well, I don't know what's going on. He said, I don't know, and don't answer. Boy, it's pretty loud out here.
Hey.
Yeah.
We can listen to MRN.
Oh, let's not do that. What, Pam? Okay.
Ricky Rudd got the only 1.5 low snout in place.
Oh, he got a different snout on the car.
Yeah.
And an 1/8 of an inch more rear spoiler, and it looked like the Ford's problems are over.
I don't see a whole lot of them up there. Maybe sniffing from fourth on
I
back.
think the only way that the Fords are going to get equal is to take about another 1.5 inches of spoiler off the 24 car.
Oh.
Let's see, 21, 6, 12. Number 2, and they represented.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's the 20.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by Split Fire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
NASCAR fans can make cruise history by cruising from Cape Canaveral to the Bahamas December 4 to 7 on the Big Red Boat. TNN and the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary will welcome Winston Cup drivers, including Kyle Petty, Todd Bodine, Ted Musgrave, Steve Chisholm, and that old sea salt, Ernie Irvin. And the proceeds will benefit the Winston Cup Drivers Wives Auxiliary. That'll be Ernie will be skiing off the back of the boat. Call 1-800-972-2359 for more information. He cruised with Buddy and I and Rusty Wallace one year, and there's places we can't go back to.
Well, yeah. Carlos and Charlie's, I think it was.
I think it was.
Yeah.
In Cozumel.
Yeah. I hit my head real hard, but I remember a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. We have videotape.
Oh.
We got up the next morning, and here's this tape in Ernie's camera, and it was the whole party, and we're all watching it. Nobody knew who shot it until we realized you were the only guy that weren't in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we had another problem.
We had several. We weren't handling too well, folks.
Yeah.
Here's Rusty Wallace, who restarted 19th, and now he's challenging Joe Nemechek for 12th. Hey, those cruises are a lot of fun, folks. They trail the leaders by 9.8 seconds. Rick Mast right in the middle of that battle. And Sterling Marlin, the Winston Cup point leader, right back in the chase. He's in 7th place, just ahead of Terry Labonte.
He wasn't running all that good at the beginning of the race. I mean, he was getting past and, just wasn't all that well. Now they must have made some adjustments, and Sterling's car is really good.
Mike, you want to know why this car really works as well as it does? Watch the back window down the straightaway. It's got a tremendous amount of down pressure on it.
Yes, it does, buddy.
I don't think that's what we're supposed to notice, buddy.
Oh, well. Hood's smooth. Back window's smooth. Driver's smooth. They're going.
Going on that big red boat, that's going to be a fun thing for the kids. That's what it's mainly all about.
Everybody behaves like kids on those courses.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's basically we're going to take our families and do some autographs and some other things, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Should be. 111 laps to go here at Loudon, New Hampshire. Our Goodyear in-car camera showing you these pictures from Sterling Marlin's Kodak Chevrolet.
I heard Tony Glover say 30.90, I think. So
that's 30.90 seconds the last lap.
Right. And the pole today was like a 29.54, I think. That was Mark Martin. So about a 1.5 seconds slower right now.
Had two great races here yesterday. Had some 800 calls about those in the Auto Palace 150 for Busch Grand Nationals. It was won by Ricky Craven, took the lead from Kelly Moore with just a couple of laps to go. And in the 40-lap modified shootout, what a thriller. Stephen Park beating Tony Hirschman and Jan Leedy in that 40 green flag lap shootout. Here's your Napa Field standing update. Napa, we keep America running. Here's how they're running. 190 laps on the board.
You know, that window is caving in pretty good, isn't it, buddy?
I didn't notice that time.
Yeah, we don't. And here comes the 33 car.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the 33 car? One of his flaps come up on his on the cowl deal.
A little difference in air pressure suddenly there when he got right into the draft of Sterling Marlin. So we see that again. Oh, there it is, just fluttering a little bit. Right cowl flap, just at the base of the windshield.
You can notice a lot of stuff up there.
Look at that crowd. You talk about race fans. Now, these people up here, they get a good dose of it from one of the greatest hidden treasures they have in New England. That's the modified division out here. Oh, it's wonderful.
Was that a great race? Jan Leedy bump drafting Steve Park all down the back straightaway, not once but several times, trying to get away from the field. What a great show.
It is a great race.
And you will see that race played on TNN. Watch your local listings because we will have a couple of replays for the modified shootout and the Busch Grand National race that was rain delayed. We didn't get to show you the finish live because it was nearly dark by the time we got that in yesterday late afternoon. But it will be on TNN. Be sure to catch it if you can.
I think it was Busch Grand National North.
Yes, excuse me. Yep. Quite a good show.
That's Ted Musgraves there in the blue car, just following Robert Presley's number 33 car. They've run very well all day today, just hadn't got to the front where they can really make a charge.
To answer Wally's question from Canada, Ted Musgrave is looking for his first Winston Cup win. He has not yet been to victory lane. He's been close, and he's got quite a string of top 5 finishes and sits 4th in the points, as Glenn told you.
Kyle Petty just retired his car, it looks like.
Coors Light Pontiac to the garage. Let's visit with Buddy Barnes up on the roof to our right. There in the box is John Andretti's car, that purple and orange 37, and you see in the main picture Buddy looking down in turn 1 where his car is. And now he shifts his gauge, looking ahead to the next corner where John is headed, trying to stay one jump ahead of what the driver's able to see.
See, they only have one spotter up there right now. And a lot of teams are starting to get 2 spotters, you know, like I was saying. So that way, he actually just goes about when cars are trying to pass or you're trying to pass, telling you clear or if somebody's under you. But Buddy basically is trying to also watch ahead, make sure about wrecks.
Now that's just to our right. Now he's watching his own car closely because of the proximity there to Bobby Hamilton and that pack of cars he's coming up on. So rather than looking way ahead down the racetrack, he's keeping track of that battle, trying to pick out a lane for John to go to, high or low, that will be to advantage. We'll get back with Buddy in a bit here. 197 laps complete, coming up on 100 to go. Jeff Gordon continues to lead Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, and Mark Martin.
Ricky Rudd.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Sure.
If they show it again, buddy, that car is just class. They run some real soft rear springs and then run that rear sway bar. See, look at that thing.
Yep.
It's like dragging the ground.
Yeah. Thank you.
Earnhardt was doing the same thing.
Hey, Rusty's coming too. Is Rusty getting on the leader? Can we do a watch thing,
You
Greg?
can't believe how soft that car was. When he was wiggling the wheel back and forth a while ago, it come up that far.
Wow.
You know, rocking.
I was down kind of snooping at it yesterday. Ray Abraham he said, "Man, don't be looking at my car."
You told him it was for TV.
No, I told him it's because I want to figure out why it goes so fast. Because I know that Jeff just didn't all of a sudden learn how to drive.
Where are my notes here from yesterday about this stuff? Where are my notes from yesterday about that Opryland thing that I left right here? My notes from yesterday.
If you can just show the leader, Morgan Shepherd's run him down almost a half a lap. You see how? Oh.
Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire. August 24th through September 4th is the TNN Salute to Motorsports. TNN gives you more live racing than any other network. You'll see lots of great examples of it. Driver appearances, show cars, and a lot of neat stuff like the new Brickyard Pace Truck. First time a pickup truck has paced a NASCAR race in our recollection. And a lot of new neat displays from the manufacturers, the sponsors, and the race teams. It's all part of what's going on at Opryland this summer. For more information, you can call Monday through Friday at 615-889-6611. You'll see drivers throughout the theme park and exhibits and appearances and merchandise trailers and everything. The TNN Salute to Motorsports, August 24th through September 4th at Opryland. Jeff Gordon is the race leader. Rusty Wallace made a pit stop during that last caution, and he's gaining about 0.2 of a lap on Jeff Gordon, who is trying to move away from the whole rest of the field. Let's go to his pit.
Well, Ray Abraham's sitting here watching his driver. Is he just cruising right now, Ray?
Well, he's running as smooth as he can without using the car up. You know, when you try and go faster, sometimes you go slower. So he's just being real careful. There's a long way to go, and we just hope we don't need any more caution. So we're just going to wait and see what happens.
Can you make the car any better at all for him?
He hasn't said anything. As we get closer to a pit stop, right now we're the same as everybody else. We're a little bit tight in the middle, a little bit loose off.
Okay, yeah, probably so. Okay, Glenn.
Well, I'm in Ricky Rudd's pit, and before the race this morning, Billy Engel told me that they were guessing that they were pretty much going to put the car like it was last year when they won. Have you had to change it much, Billy?
Well, we've changed a little bit, Glenn. Not too drastic of a change. Tide Ford seems to be working pretty good right now. We just don't have anything at all for that 24. That thing has got some awesome traction up off the corner, and a Randy Dorton motor is pulling it pretty hard.
Is there anything else that you can do to the car?
Yeah, but I'd rather not talk about it right now.
Well, you know, they won here last year, and that's always plenty of incentive to come back and do well. But if you want to see the real incentive that this crew has, it's this picture of Ricky Rudd right here. That's 20 years ago. I'm sure glad he found his way to a barber.
That's out of one of the racing papers this week. My God. Let's watch Ricky's car closely and just see as he gets through the middle of the corner how much the body moves over the tires. Not very much on Rudd's car. Big market difference when we show you Jeff Gordon's car here in a minute. Right now, Bill Elliott battles John Andretti and Joe Nemechek, 13th place. Right here, Nemechek holds that position behind Rick Mast. Nemechek in the Burger King 87. Well, I said on race day this morning I predicted a Burger battle. I didn't know it'd be for 13th spot, but that's how it is right now.
You see Bobby Hamilton there making a move on Andretti.
And there's where some of the contenders are behind Jeff Gordon.
I think the fastest car on the racetrack is being overlooked right now. Morgan Shepherd is really getting around this racetrack. We'll get to him after we watch this battle right now between Hamilton and Andretti off the corner.
I think Shepherd's one of them. I think Rusty Wallace is the other.
Yeah, definitely. Rusty's running real good, too.
Here's Shepherd trying to get past Ricky Craven. Remember, Craven is 5 laps down in the Kodiak Chevy after winning here yesterday.
Now you look at the back of Morgan's car, you know, it transfers some weight, but when we see Jeff Gordon's car, you're going to see that it looks like it's popping a wheelie going down the straightaway.
Looks like one of the Gap and Roush drag cars from the 60s.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, so there's Morgan Shepherd, who currently runs in 4th place. And here's Rusty Wallace moving on up. He's in 10th place right behind Ted Musgrave make that 11th place behind Musgrave and Robert Presley. These cars trail the leader by 12.5 seconds.
That's pretty impressive right there. He has worked his way from the tail end of this bunch all the way up to the 10th place now, and it looks like that car is really hooked up to Rusty. He'll be back up there to visit his dear friend, Mr. Earnhardt, before too long.
If they could only see the smirk on your face when you say that. They got a little close earlier, folks. 210 laps complete. Jeff Gordon leads. Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd. In 5th, Mark Martin. In 6th is Derek Cope. And 7th, Terry Labonte.
Now we're going to look at Jeff's car again.
Okay. Gary, what we'd like to see from Jeff's car is the weight transfer when he gets on the throttle, how that car squats in the back. No, not poops, just squats.
Oh.
We just want to see Gordon close so we can look at the weight transfer front to back.
I mean, as soon as he gets straight, all of a sudden it just goes.
Yeah, when he comes out of 2 is a
especially off that left rear.
Yep.
Look at the left front hat jacked up in the air.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You know who that car looks like? Looks like Richard Petty's car used to look when he won all the races.
Now watch this, buddy.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by Midas, the Midas way, the way it should be.
At Loudon, New Hampshire, Jeff Gordon has a 2.5 second lead, or rather a 3.2 second lead. Dale Earnhardt's moved into 2nd from Dave Marcus's car. Ricky Rudd now 3rd. Now we'll show you what we were talking about with Jeff Gordon, the weight transfer on that car front to back.
Okay, we're going to have to really look at it off of turn 2, but you can really see the thing actually come off the corner, and it like has a lot of weight transfer to the rear end. The back end goes down. Well, when that's happening, usually the spoiler goes down and stuff. But let's watch it off of turn 2.
Look at the gap at the left front fender between the top of the tire.
Mike, the whole car is really soft. You can see the car down the straightaway just kind of transferring the weight evenly front to rear. I mean, it's really sprung light. But these boys will try things, and it's a young team, and they don't act like they know everything. So they work together, and they really make this race car good.
There is a school of thought that says soft springs and stiff sway bars at both ends. One way to get around a flat racetrack.
Well, I tell you, those are one of the guys that are, NASCAR legalized a rear sway bar now. As of last year, and these are one of the guys that actually run it a lot. They run it almost every time. Like with our 28 car, we haven't really been able to make it work. This kind of tells us a little bit, maybe different ways you have to do things, with the rear sway bar.
Here's the running order. Top 5 with Earnhardt having moved into 2nd. Let's check that. Ricky Rudd is the 3rd place car, then Morgan Shepherd and Mark Martin. Here's Rusty Wallace shown in 9th, where he was past Ted Musgrave and tries to pull down on Sterling Marlin. 84 laps to go. Here's the interval from 1st back to 2nd. It's 4.3 seconds. Ricky Rudd in 3rd, just behind. Earnhardt got that bloodied nose on his black Chevrolet when he got into the back of Dick Trickle after the car in front of Trickle spun somebody around. Jeremy Mayfield spun. Bill Elliott battles Bobby Hamilton. Elton Sawyer lap down, and John Andretti.
See Michael Waltrip in the 30 car there, right at the back of those 5 cars rather.
Waltrip moves up and under Sawyer, who's running full time on both the Busch and Winston Cup circuits in the second half of this year. His Ford Credit Ford. We got a lot of race fans in Connecticut. Folks tend to discount Connecticut. It's so small and so away from the South as a racing state. But I bet you Wednesday afternoon at Monaco Ford in Glastonbury, we'll have a couple thousand people there. See the race cars and visit with Elton. Now here's Michael underneath, getting past the Hooters 40. Okay, a couple hundred people. Dale Earnhardt created his own traffic jam here night before last. Our producer, Pam Miller, got into what she said was one of her worst fears. She got into the line of traffic for an Earnhardt appearance. It was almost like trying to leave the racetrack. Cars parked everywhere, 9 lines of traffic, all trying to get into this one dealership where Dale was signing autographs for 2 hours here in Laconia.
And I mean, he draws the people. You know, he's a 7-time champion, and you know, he's earned all that respect. And
boy, now just keep plugging.
He's not
starting to gain on some guys ahead of you. Just follow Rusty up there and catch him. You can do it.
He's not one of the guys that, you know, you don't very seldom see him. You know, I live in the same town he does, and you know, kind of Mooresville. I'm there all the time. We never see Dale Earnhardt going to lunch or something like that. He stays at his farm.
I see him all the time. He comes up behind me and gives me a good rap from behind.
On the street.
In your street car, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I told him, I said, this isn't a rental car, you know. He said, I got plenty of them right up the road.
Yeah, he'll sell you one.
3090, 3090.
3090. See, Sterling's still running the 3090.
All right, now both you guys, tell me something. Do you like having a spotter or a crew chief who's a coach like that, an attaboy, you can do it kind of guy, or would you rather just get the facts and work on it yourself?
Mike, I'll tell you the honest truth. When you have a guy pulling for you like that, that was Tony Glover, his crew chief, talking to him and getting him into the game a little bit. You know, every once in a while you kind of relax in these race cars. That was to perk him up and get him going again. You know, every good football team has people that make them really get up. You know, they have a pep rally.
Bill Elliott on pit road. Here's Glenn.
Mike, a little bit of a disappointing day for these guys. They started fourth, their best qualifying effort of the year. They really thought they were going to have something today, but they've missed the handle just a little bit. This car was completely reworked by Mike Beam when he went back to work for Bill Elliott. This is a 4-tire change. Good pit stop by the guys. He's down and away. They did make some adjustments to try to get Bill around the track a little bit better, but they're not satisfied so far with the way things have gone.
So Elliott comes back on track at lap 223 for the green flag pit stop. 77 laps to go. Jeff Gordon currently leads. Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd, Morgan Shepherd, and pole sitter Mark Barton. Good. That was real good. Okay.
It does make a difference, you know, when they start pepping you up a little bit.
Yeah, you see, now I'm one of the guys that just tell me you need to tell me. That's it.
Well,
you know,
yeah, I want to get back to that when we come back, because everybody wants something a little different.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glover, he was over there. He was trying to pump Sterling up.
Yeah.
Usually you have to tell me now you need to take it a little easy.
Did he talk to you that way?
But no,
he
never did.
Ernie, don't tear it up. Slow down.
Yeah, please. Man, don't hit them.
Okay, we'll meet you at the car when the race is over.
Yep.
We'll be with you, pal.
Yep.
Go ahead and do what you got to do. That's what my crew used to say. Whoa.
Oops.
That was Ernie getting ear room on his headset.
Mark Martin on the pits. Derek Cope.
Boy, I tell you, Gary's just quit talking to me anymore.
Who?
Gary, in the truck. You ever heard him getting the cameras to everywhere they got to go?
Man. Yeah.
Pick up the 33, pick up the 44, pick up the 13.
Okay.
What happened?
He stopped.
Oh.
Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire. 228 laps on the board. Green flag pit stops. Joe Nemechek coming in. You're riding there with Mark Martin, Glenn Jarrett. We cover both those stops.
Well, Mark Martin already made his pit stop. Mike Nemechek's in now. They were discussing a 2-tire change, but they are loosening the lug nuts. They are going to make a 4-tire change. Mark Martin had 4 tires, fuel, and took 2 rounds of wedge out. There's a nice cloud cover now. It's real pleasant out here, but things have cooled off, and a lot of the cars seem to be getting a little bit tight. Nemechek is down with his 4-tire change, and he's away.
22nd stop for Joe Nemechek. Rick Mast is in with his Skoll Ford and the Morgan McClure Kodak Chevy. Sterling Marlin, the point leader, has made his pit stop. So we're in the pit stop window. Bobby Hillin is in. As you ride with Mark Martin in the Valvoline Ford.
Yeah, our camera shaking just a little bit right near the end of the straightaway there. Looks like he might have a tire jerking just a little bit.
Earnhardt on pit road. The 7-time champion, 3rd place in the points. Obeying the NASCAR enforced speed limit. Down the pit lane, here's Glenn.
Well, you know, to Earnhardt, Mike, that must seem like the longest pit road on earth because he's always got the #1 pit stop down here. Their car seems to work better the longer they go in the run. You see he got back by Ricky Rudd to take over second. The track seems to come to him a little bit. They are making a slight adjustment with the air pressure on the car this time. You see the caved-in nose on the car, but he says it does not hurt it. We got an 18.6-second pit stop. That's awfully good work under pressure.
Bobby Labonte is in, the Interstate Battery Chevy, 1 lap down. And Hut Strickland is in. Ted Musgrave just got 4 tires in the Family Channel Ford.
You can see Rusty Wallace go by Earnhardt as he's coming out of the pits there. He's come the 2-car of Rusty Wallace has come all the way back to 5th spot already. 4th now.
Morgan Shepherd on pit road.
Earnhardt back on pit road.
Yes. Let's first go to Randy in the Wood Brothers pit.
I'll tell you, this is a cool bunch down here. I was talking with Eddie Wood. What are you going to do? I don't know. He was holding his fingers up. 2 tires, 4 tires, 2 tires, 4 tires. Didn't know what to do. They've gone ahead and made the decision. They're going to go with 2 right side tires. Morgan Shepherd speed, fills the car with gas. Morgan gone. Glenn Jarrett.
Earnhardt has come back in. The reason that pit stop was so fast, they did not get the lug nuts tight all the way around on the right rear tire. He had to come back in, snug them up. That's a costly mistake.
Earnhardt lost a lap to the leader on the stop as Rusty Wallace is in the Miller Genuine Draft Ford. At least right side tires. He's well out from the pit wall. There goes the man with the left side lug nuts. That's a good indication it'll be a 4-tire stop. Elton Sawyer's in. The leader, Jeff Gordon, comes down pit road. So does Kenny Schrader. Green flag pit stops at lap 234. There's the stop for Jeff Gordon. Wipe of the windshield as well as 4 tires. No chassis change apparent.
Yeah, they're very pleased with everything. 16.9.
Ricky Rudd is in the Tide Ford. Terry Labonte, the Kellogg Chevrolet. Mike Wallace, the Heilig Myers Ford. Dale Jarrett's in. And your leader, we're told unofficially, John Andretti has picked up the front spot as he has not yet stopped. Buddy Red Dog Barnes wearing our spotter cam today. Andretti is the race leader at lap 235. John Andretti, nephew of Mario, cousin of Mike.
You are the leader, John. Keep digging, man. You got to get all you can out of these worn-out tires. Keep digging.
That pretty much says it. Keep digging.
But now watch how Musgrave will blast by him because Musgrave's on fresh tires. Folks, you want to see the difference between worn tires and new ones? Watch this 16 car.
Hey, well, we're going to put right side tires on that thing right now. Go up 2 pound with that right rear air pressure. Bring it on in here this time. 2 tires and fuel, John. Get it in close to the wall.
That's Tim Brewer talking there. That's crew chief.
And again, like we were saying, keep it in close to the wall so the fellas don't have to come so far around to change the right sides because we're not going to do lefts.
Mike, that's exactly what you were talking about. You see right there, even though Andretti's coming in the pits, he's much slower coming around through that corner.
You're going to be the only one on pit road now. Only one on pit road.
So John Andretti will surrender the lead. Kmart Little Caesars Ford.
Get on in here.
Did you hear what he had said? He said, fudge all you can.
Did he mean the speed limit?
No.
I think he was talking about pudding. Fudge.
Yeah. Jeff Bodine is also on pit road.
I got to go now. Fudge all you can. Fudge all you can.
Good thing we only provide the officials booth with pictures, not sound.
There, haul ass now. Got to go.
That means pick up the pace.
We know what that means. Ooh, not much question about that call. Okay. Michael Walter picks up the lead.
I hope
he and his brother Darrell are running 1-2. Pennzoil Pontiac and the Western Auto Chevy have not yet made pit stops.
This will be interesting if the caution come out right now.
Oh, yeah.
Whole new shape for the Pontiac Grand Prix next year. Ken Miller from Pontiac told me yesterday the Street Grand Prix is better in the wind tunnel than these race cars are now. Wow. If that's the case, it'll be a whole nother jumble of spoiler heights and angles and ride heights come 1996. 239 laps complete, and we're up on Waltrip's Mountain. The Waltrip brothers are leading here at New Hampshire International Speedway. We'll be right back.
I couldn't help but say pick the pace up.
Not much anybody can do with them, I don't believe, at the moment. I think with a caution, it looks like maybe Rusty could do something with them if he could ever get to him, but I don't know.
Hey, do you think the 21's got anything for Jeff?
Oh, man, no way.
Okay, all right.
You know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he might, but they don't think so, you know.
I
mean, he could, but they're not even thinking that.
Yeah. Well, he's running second right now.
Yeah, he's having a great run, but I don't think they're thinking that.
Watch monitor.
Ooh, Mike Wallace got a little help there from Bodine, huh?
Only a little.
Ooh, look at that. Nemechek almost got the right rear corner of that torn up other part.
There's not much
it's
left.
A whole other country.
Not much left there to hit. Michael better stop or he's going to be a lap down when he comes out.
Yeah, that's the bad part. He's leading, but he's losing some more ground.
Michael's car really transfers a lot, too. I'll have to ask him what springs he's got.
Oh, he'll tell you, I'm sure.
Yeah, he will.
He will.
Coils.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Packed house here at New Hampshire. All those T-shirts in the grandstand, every one with the logo of a favorite driver on it. Let's show you what just happened a couple of laps ago between Mike Wallace, Joe Nemechek, and Jeff Bodine.
See Jeff Bodine there in the 7 car on the bottom side, Mike Wallace on the outside. A little contact there coming through the corner. That's as close to a wreck as you'll ever watch. Great driving by Mike Wallace to get that back straight.
And the battle rages on. Jimmy Spencer battling Rick Maz. And this is the 13th position. These cars are 1 lap down.
Pretty easy and going in there. I think Spencer realizes there's still a lot of racing to go here. He just backed out and let him have it.
I look at some of the pit stop times. And Dale Earnhardt is back on pit road.
Wow.
Looks like they must have a problem with lug nuts again or something.
And of course the speed limit down pit road is enforced under both green and caution flag periods. So Earnhardt will lose another lap. Right side tires.
You know the bad part, Sterling Marlin's still out there. He's only running 9th place right now, but Earnhardt's having trouble, and this points thing is going on, and Jeff Gordon is gaining every race on the lead.
Earnhardt is going to be out of the top 20 when he comes back up to speed. Michael Waltrip continues to lead. Jeff Gordon has moved into 2nd place ahead of Darrell Waltrip. Morgan Shepherd in 4th. Mark Martin, the pole sitter, in 5th. Terry Labonte in 6th. And Derek Cope running in the 2nd spot. Whoever leads the points following this race, which is the designated halfway point in the series, will take home an extra $50,000 in spending money from the folks at Gatorade. In addition to that $10,000 to the leader of the halfway lap.
Mike, we have a report that Earnhardt had a vibration in the car, and that's usually lug nuts loose and the wheels are vibrating around on the car.
Darrell Waltrip has made his pit stop. Surrenders 3rd place. Michael Waltrip remains the race leader in Chuck Ryder's Pennzoil Pontiac.
I tell you, Gatorade's really stepped up to plate with a lot of different incentives, and we led the halfway point in the truck series and got $10,000 for that. So
great.
It's amazing how much money they're starting to spend, and they're seeing the advertising for it.
Here's Rusty Wallace down to the inside of Terry Labonte. 6th place for Rusty.
We're watching a race there for 6th place, but I tell you, the 2-car of Rusty Wallace right now may be the only car that's running with Jeff Gordon on the racetrack as far as speed.
Check and see when Michael Waltrip was last in the pits. It was in that last round of pit stops, lap 126. He was in under green, and then lap 163, everybody pitted under caution. So they are really stretching it. Doug Hewitt must be hoping for a caution to leave him out that long on worn tires when everyone else has got fresh ones.
There's no doubt that they're searching for a caution, and that way they can get even with everybody else.
Glenn Jarrett has more on the Dale Earnhardt story. He has now dropped to 2 laps down, Glenn, 26th position.
Well, Mike, this is the right rear tire that they just took off of Earnhardt's car. Buddy Baker, you were exactly right. You can see the lug stud holes here were wallowed out. That's exactly what was wrong. The lug nuts were left loose. He came up to speed and just wallowed out. The vibration got so bad, Dale had to come in and pit it. But you were exactly right, buddy. Loose lug nuts caused this problem.
Looks like they probably should have changed the tire and wheel when they the first time, because they ran on it.
Just tightening it up.
Right. They ran on it for a while, and now it may have tightened up and didn't actually get into the angled part of the nut.
Mike, you see Michael Waltrip coming down pit road. Look how much brake he's using on the front there. Those wheels are matching. They're yellow. Look, it looks like a black wheel and a yellow wheel. That's how much brake dust is coming out on that car.
Performance Friction carbon metallic pads on all the Winston Cup cars. Steel rotors, of course. 11.3 seconds for just 2 tires. But the question is, where will Waltrip come back on the racetrack, since everyone else has been going these last 10 or 15 laps on fresh rubber?
I have to believe that some of the Winston Cup cars are running the Ray Bestis brake pad now, too.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, he's almost a lap down to Jeff Gordon. Staying out there on those worn tires, it's nice to lead a race, but he lost a lot of position there running old tires when everybody else had come in and got 4.
So Jeff Gordon gets back into the lead. Morgan Shepherd's now the 2nd place car. The pole sitter Mark Martin has moved up to 3rd.
Yeah.
A caution would be nice.
Yeah, could you get one?
Yeah, would you walk out on the track, Randy?
Hey, Randy.
Yeah, man.
Randy, hear me now?
Yeah.
What about your head?
Yeah.
My head.
Oh, I wonder what happened to you. Are you trying to get a job up here, trying to hurt your head?
Man, I did. I drilled it.
I've been accused of losing my mind, but not hitting my head.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I heard that from somebody down in the Texaco tent.
I wasn't going very fast either.
Guys,
I just stood up. Damn.
Yeah. Mark Martin's closing in on the 21 car if we want to show. Okay. I'm just trying to help. Okay.
Buddy, she's messing with your flowers.
Yeah. There goes my flowers.
This thing's really getting ugly.
Yeah. They brought him flowers, told him to cross his hands. Just lay them right here.
Nobody'd ever know for a week or two.
And then the smell would get him.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Like I say, a week or two.
Not tea, I've died. Anything but tea.
Anything?
Oh. Did you call him, tell him to start racing? Would you please?
We might have a race for a second.
We need a caution. Throw something.
Where's Jacques?
Where's Jacques and Pierre, the two French drivers, the Debris brothers?
The Debris brothers.
But
Yes.
you know, if Ernie Irvin was leading this race, the last thing he'd want to see?
Caution. I've had it before.
Up a lot, but let us go. It's just 18 feet.
Just 18 feet? That's clever.
I love that. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin. Glenn Jarrett and Randy Pemberton on pit road, and Tony Glover yelling encouragement to his driver Sterling Marlin as you ride the Kodak Chevrolet.
That was funny what he said. He said it's only 18 feet to get by this car. Make it happen.
But what he was doing is telling him the spotter to tell Derek Cope's spotter, says, let us go. You know, we need to get by you. And, man, it's only 18 feet.
Yeah, but it's also 7th place they're racing for.
Yeah.
You see, all the spotters stand in one area up on the roof to the right of our broadcast position. So, and since they all wear uniforms, it's not hard to tell who you need to go talk to if you either need a favor or need a little help or need to give somebody a little encouragement.
Like 17 or 19 feet.
Mike, I can guarantee you he wasn't asking the spotter to give him anything. They're racing for position. Yeah.
And speaking of racing for position, 2nd place right here. Mark Martin, the pole sitter. He's up for a balance of nearly bonus of nearly $100,000. That Unical bonus, $7,600 if the pole sitter wins the race, and if he doesn't, it rolls over, and they add $7,600 each race until somebody gets it. That's getting up into 6 figures right there.
Okay.
7th place.
Cope got out a little bit wide there.
Oh, he only got 9 feet. Didn't get all 18.
No.
Oh, he was like beside him and still didn't get him.
Comes Sterling. He's going to put a little heat on him, it looks like.
Yeah.
Little wiggle.
Oh, boy.
Glover will be talking to him here in a minute.
Can you find her spotter?
I told him.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Close, but no cigar.
Well, if you're driving Derek Cope's car and your spotter tells you, the 4 car would like you to move over, please.
Yeah.
What is that, like past the Grey Poupon? I mean, come on.
He just shook his head.
Yeah. They didn't say if he shook it side to side or up and down.
Just look where you are. We'll get him here in a minute.
I mean, it's racing for a position, right?
Right.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him for not moving over.
Right. 7th place.
You know, Ernie, that might be just a little more chatter than I'd like in a car when I'm racing real close to somebody. I like the opportunity to think a little bit for myself, too.
Well, you know, Tony Glover's a different type of person, and he's funny. I mean, you know, they're from, you know, the teams up from Bristol and all that. They talk a little different up there.
Well, did he coach you like that when you drove that car?
You know, he didn't really coach me much. He was, anytime he was talking to me, he was like, okay, calm down now, come on. Now he's got Sterling saying, okay, get it going. He would have to calm me down most of the time.
You don't particularly like a spotter to talk a lot?
No, I hardly ever have a spotter talk to me. You know, now I've listened to drivers. They always tell, the driver will always want to have them tell you if there's a car under you, high or whatever. I never really like that. I like to just be able to judge for myself, and you know, it always was my type of deal.
Okay, we're watching from Dave Marcus's car just ahead to that battle. And the battle for second place remains a good one.
Mark Martin's putting a lot of pressure on Shepard, but Shepard's car is really getting through the corners quite well. I think Mark's turned the wick up just a little bit, though. He has an incentive. Pole position right now is going to collect a lot of money if he can win the race.
I think Mark needs to have his spotter tell Morgan's spotter that we only need 18 feet.
Oh, we have a car in the wall. Jeff Bodine in turn 4. Oh, he makes it across. The yellow flag is out.
Bodine makes it across to pit road. Second incident he's been involved in today.
We needed a caution, but we didn't want to see somebody wreck.
The Exide Ford comes to a halt.
Man, they don't hardly have enough to work on this.
Where is the fuel cell at? It's like gone.
It's up and under there somewhere. And back to the line.
Oh, look, teamwork happening.
Kenny Schrader, who, like Jeff Gordon, has a race car owned by Rick Hendrick, as that was Ernie Irvin who pointed that out.
Yeah.
Kenny gets a lap back from the race leader, so that will put Schrader back onto the lead lap.
Now, I wonder if Rick Hendricks gives Schrader or Jeff Gordon an extra bonus for letting one of his other cars have a lap back.
I wouldn't think. But if you're going to do a favor for somebody, it might as well be your teammate.
Yeah.
Because you're going to need a favor someday.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that's the same guy signs all 3 checks, you know.
And there is the chance that Schrader beat Gordon back to the line.
Yeah, right.
I said,
okay. I think we'll see pit stops.
The only thing faster than that 24 today has been our camera people on top up here. They can go by him and pick up the next car in front of him.
He's done a great job. And here is Jeff Gordon. Ray Evernham's crew get one more shot to put tires on this car and fuel. We have 30 laps to go. When they make this pit stop, it'll be an old-fashioned shootout.
I wonder if we'll see some 2-tire stops right now.
Well, let's see. Randy?
I don't think so, but you never know. I'm going to check on Jeff Gordon's car right now. Looks like they're going 2. Nobody loses their left side lugs. No chassis adjustment on the 24. The 2-car fits right in front of them. They want to go 4 tires. Glenn Jarrett, what goes on up then on the pit road?
Two tires up here for Mark Martin, guys. That's all they call for. That's all they ever planned on doing. It was 2 tires for Morgan Shepherd. He beats Mark Martin out of the pit, as does Terry Labonte. So 2 tires from here, 2 tires for Shepherd. They're making that gamble. I think it's going to pay off for them.
Gordon is the first car out of the pits. Morgan Shepherd is second. Mark Martin is third. Terry Labonte is fourth. Ricky Rudd is fifth. Sterling Marlin is sixth. Rusty Wallace seventh. Ted Musgrave eighth. Getting set for the restart. The cars that got only right side tires have 40 laps on their lefts. We'll see how this plays out over the next 27 laps. Darrell Waltrip's on the tail end of the lead lap, moves aside for leader Jeff Gordon. Morgan Shepherd in second. Mark Martin in third. Terry Labonte in fourth. Fifth, Ricky Rudd. Sixth, Sterling Marlin. Seventh, Rusty Wallace. There are 16 cars on the lead lap, counting Darrell Waltrip. Not 20, as I said when we went to break. 16 cars on the lead lap. Just shoot it out.
Actually, Darrell Waltrip could have started on the outside lane.
Yes.
So he was being a big sportsman and moved to the inside lane.
And he also has the preferred line if he gets a jump right here.
And perhaps he will. We are under green, and Waltrip has a half a car length on Jeff Gordon. 3 cars break away by about a length, but they have that high line into turn number 1. Gordon, the 21 of Shepherd, and the 6 of Mark Martin. Back to racing with 26 laps to settle this. You're riding with Mark Martin in third place.
Gordon and Shepherd broke free of everything there. They're out front. You see Bobby Labonte in the interstate car there. Looks like he and...
now he's a lap down, too.
He and Darrell fighting for 16th place. Jeff Gordon has sprung the latch, and the barn door is open, and he has taken off. Let's see if Morgan Shepherd can reel him in.
I think Morgan's going to have his hands full with the 6 car of Mark Martin, but I don't think he's going to run the 24 car of Jeff Gordon down. It looks like he might be the dominant car right now.
Right now, riding with Sterling Marlin as Dale Earnhardt goes by. Earnhardt is 2 laps down.
He's dropped beside him. He's got 3 or 4 behind him now. 16 cars there.
Well, there's a guy, if he ever does get back up front again, I think can run with Jeff Gordon.
Wallace?
I think Rusty Wallace can run with him, but he's really got bad track position right at the moment.
Well, he put 4 tires. You're down anywhere.
Wallace has to pass 11 cars to get back to the front. Most of them are on the lead lap. Very side by side with Ted Musgrave.
Well, what he has to be careful about, he might be quite a bit faster, but you have to play with the cars when you're passing them here. You just can't run up there and block them out. So he's got to be careful not to wipe himself out, too.
Gets under Nemechek, who's 1 lap down.
Actually, Morgan Shepherd is running right there with the 24 car.
Yep. Morgan's not losing anything to Jeff Gordon.
Sterling Marlin's off just a little bit down the
straightaway. He lost 18 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Derek Cope and Bobby Allison's car, the main and tail. Number 12 just ahead of Sterling, and here comes Bill Elliott. John Andretti coming back toward the front, and Kenny Schrader, who is back on the lead lap. Number 25. Jimmy Spencer there in the Camel 23. Spencer is, on the lead lap.
Yeah, he's on the lead lap, and he's running pretty good. He just hadn't had any track position today. You see him moving around there on Ted Musgrave trying to make that position.
Musgrave to the outside of Derek Cope. And now here comes Marlin. You're with them. Here 150 miles an hour as they get down that back straightaway and into turn 3. Morgan Shepherd, the gap constant to race leader Jeff Gordon, but closing in is Mark Martin.
And just behind him, you see the 5 car of Terry Labonte. He is running them all down. He's running quite well. This is on back in the pack there, but here comes Terry Labonte. You see him catching Mark Martin going in the corner there.
Ooh, Rusty Wallace on the inside of Schrader.
Right there with Earnhardt.
And here is Labonte closing in on Martin. This may be a 4-car shootout 20 laps from now.
Well, the first place and the 4th place car right now are team cars, and they have basically the same engine. So it's just whether they made the right adjustments on this car. You know, Terry Labonte knows how to win.
And we saw Labonte earlier. A car would get up alongside him. He'd let him go and drop in line. Like we said, picking and choosing his battles and when to make the run. This could be the time.
That part of the race is over. This is grab and go now.
Derek Cope underneath Joe Nemechek, who is not on the lead lap in the Burger King 87. 1 lap down.
This is Sterling Marlin we're riding with here, coming out of turn 2, going down the back straightaway. You see Nemechek's car all day long. The back end's been doing that, jumping out sideways.
Marlin's got a fender under. He's pulling alongside, makes the pass.
Way to hustle now, Hammer.
Did he say hammer or hamburger?
No, Hammer.
Oh.
Michael Waltrip in 14th position, racing with 23 Jimmy Spencer, 37 John Andretti, and the 1 of Rick Mast. Kenny Schrader in the 25. Those are all lead lap cars. 16 laps to go. Let's take one more break, and then we'll carry you through to the finish. You're watching Winston Cup Racing live on the Nashville Network.
Does Terry run that sway bar like Gordon?
They do so.
5.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's coming on right now. He's got the 6 car giving him a fit right now. You think there's any correlation between this track and Richmond as far as setup?
A little bit. More like Phoenix.
Well, he won Phoenix too, so yeah. He's pretty good anywhere, though. Yeah. But the flat track, like Pocono and all, he's always up front. And this reminds me a lot of some of the Pocono turns, like the one sweeper turn coming out of 3. Ooh, he just about undone himself there.
Today's exclusive coverage of the Slick 5300 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
John Andretti off the pace in the Little Caesars Kmart. Franifus Haas Ford had been running in the lead lap and in the top 10. But now we'll just have to roll this one out for 13 more laps.
Down to 11 laps, Mike, and I'm telling you, it's just this car run very well all day, lead lap and everything, but you can see it's all over.
Tell you, Jeff Gordon has 10 or 11 laps to go, and doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to beat him.
Well, we asked the question at the top of the show, is this the year that youth finally overcomes experience? Maybe it is. Jeff Gordon, 23 years old, will celebrate his birthday at the Brickyard.
Mike, there's one thing you can't do. You can't celebrate 10 laps from the finish. You know you're the guy sitting beside of you at the Brickyard last year was leading the race and had a flat right near the end of the race. The race is never over until the checkered flag falls.
You wanted to say till the fat lady sings, didn't
That's
you?
it. That's it. She's humming, but she's not singing yet.
Get the pitch pipe. Ricky Craven has cut a tire down. He's coming around at reduced speed. A 1.4-second lead for Jeff Gordon. Morgan Shepherd is second. Pole sitter Mark Martin is third. Terry Labonte is fourth. Ricky Rudd is fifth. Sixth is Rusty Wallace. And seventh, good run for Derek Cope today.
You know, I talked to Jimmy Finning, the crew chief for that car, and he said that, the beginning of the year they ran real well. And then all of a sudden they lost everything. They really weren't running that good. And he said he went back and tried to, just make everything the same, and we're going to start over again. This is now they're running good.
Now behind them in 8th place is Ted Musgrave, and in 9th is the point leader, Sterling Marlin. If Marlin is unable to improve on his position, Jeff Gordon is going to get that $50 grand from Gatorade for being the halfway season point leader.
Can you believe that? Like he needs 50,000.
He's only 7 points behind Marlin going into this race.
And Marlin hasn't led.
And is ninth. So Gordon will get 175 for winning, plus, if he wins, 5 points for leading at least a lap, and he may wrap up the 5 points for leading the most laps.
Yeah, good.
So there's Musgrave, and here's Marlin. You're riding with Sterling.
So it could be a $50,000 bonus for sure.
Kenny Schrader there just behind Sterling Marlin. He's really flying through here right at the moment.
Time to go, buddy. Time to go. Just keep it in.
Keep it in.
Now you see that back window going up and down. We had a call on our 800 number asking if that window was glass like in your passenger car.
No, it is plastic or Lexane.
That's why it's got a little give to it, but also it is shatterproof.
Right.
Where even safety glass is not completely shatterproof.
Right.
5 to go this time. Now, if Ken Schrader gets ahead of Sterling Marlin. That's 4 less points for Sterling.
4 less, yes.
From 1st through 7th place, the Winston Cup point breakdown drops 5 points per position. Then for a while it drops 4 points per position, and then the rest of the field drops 3 points per position.
Yeah, it's like 1st through 7th or something like
I think so. And then 7th through 12th, it drops 4 points per position.
That's right.
And then 3 points per spot from there on back.
See Ted Musgraves in the 16 car there. He just passed Jeremy Mayfield. Jeremy gets real loose right in front of Sterling Marlin. That's something you don't want to see with 4 laps to go.
No, sir. And Marlin underneath the 98 of Jeremy Mayfield there. The Western Auto Mechanic of the race, Ray Evernham. Crew chief for Jeff Gordon. And the leader of the Rainbow Warriors on that DuPont refinishing Chevrolet.
And well earned.
Go back again mid-pack for this battle. From 9th place on back. Sterling Marlin with Kenny Schrader and Rick Mast trying to eke out a top 10 finish here.
We haven't said much about Rick Mast, but he's right there in, what, 5th or 6th?
10th. A strong day today.
Well, if anything does happen to Jeff Gordon right here at the waning moments of this race, Morgan Shepherd will win his first race this year because he is really holding the same interval as he's had. And, you know, it can happen. Jeff Gordon got into the wall right there when he was qualifying.
Yes.
The black marks tell it all.
And for taking on those 2 tires and setting the stage for pit stops all day long. The number 24 crew under Ray Evernham also wins the Thompson RCA Pit Strategy Award for the day.
You see the Rainbow Warrior and the Tomahawk there. That's part of the
white flag. White flag for Jeff Gordon.
Last lap. Jeff Gordon trying to join Rusty Wallace and Ricky Rudd in the New Hampshire International Speedway record book and trying to pick up his 5th Winston Cup victory.
He's kind of eased up, and Morgan Shepherd's closing in a little bit on him. He's pulled it down to about 15 or 20 car lengths, but it looks like Gordon's day.
I think he was just trying to make it in.
Off turn 4 into the checkered flag. Jeff Gordon wins the Slick 50 300 at New Hampshire. Morgan Shepherd is 2nd. 3rd goes to Mark Martin, the pole sitter. Terry Labonte is 4th. Ricky Rudd is 5th. We'll come back, go to victory lane, check on the Winston Cup point standings, give away that Gatorade 50 grand and more right after this. Welcome back to New Hampshire International Speedway, where this record crowd is beginning to wonder how they're going to get to their cars and get on the road. Jeff Gordon celebrates in victory lane. Glenn Jarrett's there.
Well, Jeff takes a nice seat on the hood of the car, and to the best of my recollection, the only time that anybody else has had any fun this week was when you crashed qualifying, man. That thing was awesome today.
It was. I tell you, I got the best dang crew chief out there. He's amazing. You know, people talked to me this morning, and I mean, we didn't do any practice for this race. That just shows you how good he is, and or how lucky he can guess. I don't know, but you know, I was pretty confident in him going into the race. We had our troubles, and you know, this is a big test for this team to prove how strong we can be. We overcame an awful lot today. I got to thank them, this DuPont crew and DuPont Automotive Finishes, Valvoline, Coca-Cola, Xerox, Kellogg's. I mean, Goodyear Tires had a great tire today, and of course, that Chevy Monte Carlo was awesome. So, man, I tell you, what a day, what a day.
Well, he got everybody named there. First time anybody this year has had back-to-back wins. You're on a phenomenal roll right now. You get the bonus for leading the points at halfway. But Ray Evernham stays inside your head. We were monitoring the radio there the last few laps, talking to you every lap, keeping you calm.
He was definitely keeping me calm. I almost had to come on there and say, hey, I know, man, I know. But, you know, that's just how good he is. I mean, he watches every corner, every lap. And he knows that if he doesn't talk to me, I'm going to drive in deeper and deeper and deeper every lap. And every time he didn't talk to me, that's what I did. And I'd come on the radio and start complaining. He'd say, you know, start backing it off, slow down, slow down. As soon as I did that, bang, man, I just started taking off. And he made some great calls, some two-tire stops and everything. And I guess the only other person I got to thank is God. Man, he's definitely blessing me, that's for sure.
Were you guys talking at all about that $50,000 bonus from Gatorade?
I got to thank Gatorade too, because they put up a lot of money, to this sport. And we had a press conference the other day, and I really, I wasn't even really in the conversation much. I was just sitting there because, I was second in points. But this is just great. I got to say hey to Rick at home. I told you, buddy. I told you better be here, and he's not. But we're leading the points. Got that 50,000. That's great.
All right, we're going to let him go celebrate. He wants another kiss from his wife, Brooke. I want one too, but I'm not going to get it, so let's go to Randy.
Okay. Morgan Shepherd all smiles. Morgan, you gave it a heck of a run, but the kid's pretty tough.
Yeah, he was pretty strong. The 24 car was strong all day, but I tell you what, the Sidco Thunderbird just kept gaining and gaining, and it seems like through turn one I could gain on him a little bit, but I couldn't gain anywhere else, and I was just trying different lines, and we just couldn't come up with anything. I feel almost like we won the race. The way things have been going for us, so this is a big turnaround. Hey, I'd like to say we got Fran and Larry Britton here, and I'm glad they could be here to support us. They're our sponsors, Sidco, and we're real thankful to these folks.
Hey, congratulations on a good run, Morgan.
Thank you.
Glenn?
We're back in victory lane. Of course, this is the smiling face of Ray Evernham, Jeff Gordon's crew chief. And, I might have to go along with Jeff. He may be the best in the business right now. We're going to present you with the Miller Genuine Draft Pit Crew Award. Congratulations, Ray. Another terrific job, and made even that much better by having to repair a damaged race car. You guys were awesome.
Well, again, we really like to thank TNN and Miller Genuine Draft for these awards. It means a lot to the guys, but I can only accept this on behalf of them. I'm really lucky to be part of these teams. These guys are making heroes out of me. We got a great sponsor, owner, and driver, and things are just clicking. The other day when we crashed, we said, it's going to show us what we're made of, what we do on Sunday, not what we did today. So it shows what this, group of guys is made out of. And, I'm just so proud to be part of it. I can't tell you. And I want to say hi to Rick. He's home watching us. And I told you we were going to have a good day last night, boss. And we had a pretty good day.
Well, one more question now. You were a former driver. A lot of people may not know that. Ray used to drive modified cars, and he's been in a car. He knows what it's like. He's one of the coolest, calmest individuals I know, and I asked Jeff this question. You talk to him constantly to try to keep him calmed down, keep him focused on what he's doing.
Yeah, you see, because I made all the mistakes, so I know what they are, and I don't want him to make them, so I just keep trying to tell him not to do what I did when I was driving.
Well, I tell you what, this man doesn't make very many mistakes today. Absolutely one of the best in the business. Congratulations to Ray Evernham and the entire DuPont Chevrolet team. Great job.
5th win of the season for Jeff Gordon, Ray Evernham, and that Hendrick Motorsports team. Who led the most laps, got the 5 bonus points? We'll tell you when we come back to New Hampshire International Speedway after this. Tune in tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern for Win, hosted by Rusty Wallace. This week, Rusty takes you to Saturday night small town tracks. They may be small, but the enthusiasm and the excitement's overwhelming. Tune in to Win for all the action at 6. Well, the fans filing out to hop in their cars, and drivers, owners, and other folks hopping into the helicopters to get a lift out of here and back to Concord and off for the trip home.
Mike, every time I see Ray Evernham, I remember 1 year ago when they won the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte for their first win. Ray Evernham was catching more heat. A lot of people were writing stuff like he'll never make a real crew chief in the Winston Cup racing. What a difference a year makes. Now everybody celebrates the name.
Well, he was a modified driver and a good one on the tour, but I think a lot of this type of savvy came from working for Jay Signori as the shop foreman and later crew chief for the International Race of Champions. He got to work with some great drivers, some really top-notch mechanic and top-flight equipment, and certainly learned his trade, and it served him well. As far as leading the most laps, Sterling Marlin led 124 today. Jeff Gordon led 2 more than that and got the 5 bonus points.
I don't think it was Sterling Marlin.
Mark Martin. Excuse me. Excuse me. Penmanship. The penmanship award does not go to Greg Field. Mark Martin. You're right. So Gordon got the 5-point bonus for leading the most laps today.
Ray Evernham was talking to me the other day, and he said, "Man, how many trucks you got?" And I said, we got 4 of them, I think. Mm-hmm. And he says, Flemington was one of the places I used to run at all the time. He says, "Man, maybe I could drive your truck over there."
That's right.
And he goes, "You know what?" He said, "If I drive it, I can fix it."
No, if he drives it, he has to fix it.
Ernie, I do believe you have a Ford truck, and I do not believe Evernham will be working with you.
Oh,
He put his hand up.
details.
Minor stuff. Oh.
Randy Pemberton's caught up with the 4th place finisher today.
Well, Terry Labonte's been granting some interviews. Terry, heck of a run. Wasn't a win. The kid's tough and the car's good.
Well, we had a great runner. Kellogg Chevrolet ran good all day, and we were a little bit better earlier in the race, and seemed like the track got some more rubber on it there, and I just could never really find the right line at the end of the race, and then we pitted and just got right side tires, and I wasn't quite as good. My car got a little bit tight in the center of the corner, but it's still a great run for us. I got to congratulate Jeff, my teammate, 1st and 4th. That's not bad.
How much of an inner rivalry has this become now with you guys? I know you're all good friends. You do a lot of testing, you exchange information, but he's starting to win some races on you guys.
I'll tell you what, he's awful tough, and they've got really a good deal going there, and they've been tough every week, and I'm happy for them. If we can't win the championship, I hope they do.
Okay, congratulations on a good run. Guy that didn't have such a good day today, but came out okay. He's with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, not a bad day for Rusty Wallace. First of all, I'm amazed this guy just crawled out of a race car. It looks like he walked out of a department store. But good run. You just got caught back in traffic after that little cave-in on the fender there and never could get back to the front.
And that was about it. I worked from 20th up to the lead there at one time, and the car was just awesome all day long and handled perfect. The motor ran great. Everything was just flawless. The pit stops were good. But I got an outside of Earnhardt there trying to get I was leading the race. He tried to get underneath me. I slid up, and they started freight training me, and Ricky Rudd got on the side of me and a tore the fender about off the left front. He probably didn't mean it, just contact. But we had to come in because the tire was rubbing on the fender. We cleared it out of the way, got going again. And then right there at the very end, I was running second. You know, I got right up to him, was going to get him. Probably wasn't going to be able to pass the 24, but we talked about putting 2 tires on. We decided to go for 4, and that's what got us. It was the right call. But the tires were just a little bit mismatched, and it didn't work out, and we got a 6 out of it. But everybody did a great job. Robin did a super job today, and it was just a wonderful day for us, except we finished 6th.
Well, I talked to Robin a little bit this morning, Rusty, and you guys have got to be really heartened by the way you've been running on the racetrack. You had some problems for a while now, but the car has been competitive week after week after week lately.
Well, everybody keeps saying lately what's wrong with Rusty because, you know, we haven't won 4 or 5 races like we normally do at this time, and we're 6th in the points. But I told him, I said, just stay tuned because our second half's really going to be strong. We've had a lot of controversy. We're still having a problem with these cars with mismatch when it comes to equalness on the Monte Carlo and the Chevrolet, and we're still messing around with weird things like these sway bars and all that. But I think they're going to come to their senses and finally get that thing off. But great race today. I'd like to say to everybody, say hello to everybody who was down to the Bahamas watching and at home watching. It was a great day.
Congratulations again to Rusty Wallace on a good run. Now Randy standing by with Mark Martin.
Well, Mark, the Unical bonus still stands, unfortunately, but you had a pretty fair day.
Real good run for the Valvoline Cummins team. That was about all we could muster. We were real good the first half, but as the sealer wore off the racetrack, the setup kind of changed, and our car started getting a little bit tight, and there wasn't anything I could really do to it. We tried to do some things, and we just couldn't get it spectacular in the second half, so we'll settle for 3rd today.
Okay, look ahead to next week.
Where's that, Pocono?
That's right.
We'll be looking good at Pocono. We always run good there, so we're looking forward to it. Our team is really performing at a top level. It's awesome.
Okay, congratulations on another good run. Upstairs.
Thanks, Randy. Here's a look at the Winston Cup point standings. Jeff Gordon vaults into the point lead by 40 points over Sterling Marlin. Dale Earnhardt has dropped to 3rd. Ted Musgrave 4th, or 3rd is where Earnhardt started today, but he has dropped to 92 points behind Gordon. Ted Musgrave holds on to 4th, but he is just 3 points ahead of Mark Martin. He was 31 points ahead of Mark coming into today. 6 through 10, Terry Labonte in 6th, drops Rusty Wallace to 7th. Morgan Shepherd climbs from 10th to 8th. Michael Waltrip in a tie for 8th. And now 10th, Bobby Labonte. He was 9th this morning. Back in 11th would be Kenny Schrader. Ricky Rudd moves up to 12th, drops Bobby Hamilton to 13th. Derek Cope moves up to 14th, swaps spots with Bill Elliott. 16th will be Dale Jarrett. 17th, Steve Grissom. Darrell Waltrip moves up to 18th, displacing Jeff Bodine. And Brett Bodine edges John Andretti out of the top 20. That's at the halfway point in the season, 16 out of 31 races. And we'll be back to New Hampshire International Speedway after this.